was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst birds singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network, and proud partners of On 3, Go Gamecocks.
He'll be fine on the mountain.
Consecutive home runs for Carolina.
It is good. It's gone.
He's in. Touchdown.
He's with the throw to the plate. He's going to score. It's a walk-off. Touchdown, South Carolina.
All right, greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard and welcome home. Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by our friends at Resto Pros, who are there when you need them. Resto Pros of the Midlands, Resto Pros MidlandsSC.com. The West Law Firm presents our coverage as well, over 8 decades serving the great state of South Carolina. Head to westlawfirmsc.com, or if you or somebody you know needs any sort of help or questions answered. It is Wednesday. It is August the 12th. That means we've got a wide open Wednesday around here. Chris Clark will be joining us coming up in just a little while. Our colleague JC is back today. JC wasn't here yesterday because of tornado warnings where he lives. He was hunkered down and bunkered in, David Cloninger, but he survived. Everybody survived. And JC will be back alongside Phil here in just a little bit, but we'll lead off with our friend David Cloninger with the Post and Courier, as we are 24 days from kickoff for the 2026 South Carolina football season. Good morning, my man. How are you?
Not bad, man. 24 days. Reminds me of number 24, Sheldon Brown. He was so good he should have been from Rock Hill. But, he was just one county down, so we'll go ahead and call him an honorary member.
So, so we've talked to Sheldon, and I didn't realize that baseball was actually his first love.
Yeah.
He's like, that's why I still coach baseball. I love baseball. Like, baseball was his first love, but can't turn down an NFL contract either.
That's right. And he did come out for a couple of games with the Gamecocks. It was him and John Stamper who came out and joined the team for a little bit. Was it '99 maybe, or maybe it was '01 or '02, but he was on the team for a few games. I remember Ray Tanner just decided to go ahead and put him on there, and I thought, y'all are about to see something. I still remember when John Stamper actually got to third base once in a game, and we were all hollering at the opposing catcher like, "Hey, man, if there's a play at the plate, just get out of the way." If you remember how big John was, we called him Johnny Stampinato for a reason. So, but yeah, those were some good times. But Sheldon was outstanding baseball player, and his name's all over Louisville High School, as it should be. I think he donated the weight room there for the football team and really for the whole school. He's got his jerseys posted on the wall outside. But Shell was always a great guy and obviously a tremendous player.
Tremendous player, part of a great secondary in the early 2000s at South Carolina as well. This secondary might be pretty good themselves, DC. There's some competition going on there. We'll get to that in just a second. I love getting you on Wednesdays because Coach Beamer meets with the media on Tuesdays. Generally, and I always applaud you for this. We joke around about DC getting the first question and things like that. But you have questions to ask, and you ask him, and you try to get him to respond. And most of the time, Shane is fairly reserved or careful with what he has to say. But, yesterday when he was asked about Darius Gray, there was a little bit of a fire that didn't exist in every previous answer in that press conference. And the more that we all learn about this kid, it's hard to imagine at some point in time this year, Darius Gray maybe not having a pretty important role in this football team.
Absolutely, Jamie. And I mean, not only did you know about him from his recruiting rankings and how much they talked him up over the offseason, but just about when he got here. And, he was a late guy. He didn't get here until the summer, missed spring practice and all that. But how Shane kind of paused when he was asked about him, it's like, I wonder if he's actually struggling for words. And it was a case of like, I think if he would have said it this way, he would have said, guys, just wait till you see him. Just wait till you see him, because he is really raising a lot of eyebrows across, the room with the coaches and everything. So I don't think it's any doubt that, he's got to get through the next 3 weeks, as they all do. But he's going to play an important role. I don't know if he'll start right away. It'll be one of those like, well, maybe we like the kind of group of 5 we have. But he's going to be in there, and he's going to be in that top group of 10. I'll say he's there right now just because the talent is too much to ignore. So I'm just anxious to see where they line him up. I mean, I think that he projects as an inside guy, but, I don't think he would have any problem if they wanted to move him out and play tackle.
Well, I mean, dude, from what we've heard, he's working all across the line, center, guard, tackle, whatever works. I don't see him cracking the job or getting the job at center, because Nolan Hay, I don't know if people realize how close this is. Nolan Hay is in the thick of it there with Carter Miller. But, this offensive line has been, I don't want to sit here and say they've been so bad, but they have been bad. It's not always all their fault, DC. We know that. The scheme last year was flat garbage. Lenoris obviously could have helped them from time to time as well. He took some sacks where he did have time to be able to do other things out there. Guys miss block. Shane's never actually. I've always agreed with him and what he's had to say about that. Hey, look, we're all at fault here. Okay, fair enough. But when it's been so criticized and so just blatantly not good. I mean, 40 plus sacks allowed for 3 straight years is bad. Period. Yes. The end. And then it might have been you that asked this question. If not, it was whoever it was. I apologize, but somebody did ask him a week or two ago, hey, look, with this new 5-for-5 deal, does it kind of throw it out the window as far as, well, look, if they can play, they can play. And I think he skirted that, didn't he, DC? Wasn't he kind of like, if they could play, we've always just played our best players. I'm not really buying that. I think there is strategy that goes into it from somewhere. But I do think that opens the door even more for a kid like Darius Gray. Hey, look, we've been bad. If you're good, you should play. and it's not going to bang us down the road from a depth chart standpoint in the next couple of years.
Oh, you're right, Jamie, because now he does have the 5 years. It's not just, oh, okay, well, 1 year we're going to redshirt you. It used to be the automatic. Well, you're not big enough to play at this level, strong enough. We're going to redshirt you for the year and put you in there. And usually there'd be a couple of guys that would play in their first year, but mostly it was you're going to sit and you're going to get bigger. And that's kind of the rotation that they would use for all offensive line recruiting. It was you've got your group now you're building for the future. So now you do have that case of red shirts are gone, and you can play 5 full seasons if you so desire. And that's what the case can be, to where Shane did say, we're going to play them if they're good enough to play. And in some cases, that was the case. I mean, Nicky Minori, right, took an injury to get him on the field that much, but he did play right away. But now it is a case of we can do that if you're worthy of it. So I think he's definitely going to play. I think he would have played anyway, that they wouldn't have redshirted him had that rule still been intact. But now it is a case of you've got 5 years with this guy. No, he may not stay for all 5. If he's that good, he might go pro after 3. But you've got those 2 extras, so why waste one now trying to do the red shirt that's not technically a red shirt? So he will be a guy that I think will factor in. Of course, we've got a ways to go. You got to keep your health up and all that kind of stuff. But right now, he's taking everything that they throw at him, and he's succeeding. So I'm just looking and saying, well, I posted my depth chart for whatever that was worth, a week ago before camp started. Okay, I didn't have Darius Gray anywhere on the 2 deep, so I thought, he's got to get in here and prove what he can do. Well, I'm gonna have to redo that, obviously, by the end of camp.
Yeah, well, and you might have to put that. Yours might be very similar to what we're most likely going to get right before the first game, which is a lot of oars.
Yeah, the definite oars, and they'll stay that way throughout the whole season. Which I thought, you guys just put way too much emphasis on this depth chart, but I get it. Shane's the one that has to deal with parents who look at that depth chart and say, hey, wait a minute, where's my kid? So I get it, but it's just one of those things to cut up and talk about. And but Darius Gray has shown enough at this point to where he's going to be in that group of top 10. Now, I can't say where he's going to be. We just don't know at this point. And, of course, a lot of that will depend on, okay, what's going on with Jacarius Peak? Is he going to play the first game, second game, or what? Because that's that could take out one whole player, and now you got to find a substitute for him. So we'll see how it goes. But Nolan Hay got to talk to us yesterday, and he had a great line when someone asked him about Darius Gray. He went, Darius, Mr. 6-star. I thought, oh, okay, Mr. 6-star. We've got a nickname. So he's impressed with him and saying, okay, well, we're going to see how this works right away.
And generally, guys named Darius at the University of South Carolina, things turn out okay for them in one way or another. So let me ask you, I haven't heard much about this, DC, but what have you learned about when, like the timeline for them to settle on these are going to be our first 5?
Generally, Jamie, it'll probably be about that 2-week mark, before the first game. Everything's kind of on an accelerated pace this year because the calendar is so late. Shane was saying yesterday that normally you get 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before you start class, which adds in, the whole other routine, and kids can't really stay 24/7 in the building. This time around, class starts on the 18th, so in 6 days. So you're really only getting 10 days this year. So you go about 2 weeks before the first game, and I think that's when you really want to start settling down and honing in on what you got. Now, for different positions, it's going to fluctuate. Ran a story in the PNC this morning about the kickers, where I talked to Matthew Smine, and I said, okay, I'm the head coach, and if I'm deciding on the QB, it's 2 weeks before. He said, yeah, I get you. Kickers, we could do it 2 weeks. We could do it up to 3 days before the opener. I said, 3 days? Wow, really? He said, yeah. 3 days is probably the time that the guy needs to know he's the guy. Mm-hmm. If you know it for those 3 days for the game, you're going to be okay. You're not worrying about it. So it could go that late. It could be a little earlier, but who knows? But I would say generally for all positions, those 2 weeks are when you say, okay, here's my group. Here's what we're going to do. Because, Jamie, as you know, that last week of that 2-week segment, that's going to be spent for game prep, game-specific prep leading up to Kent State and saying, I need to have this guy in to handle that guy on the other side.
Yeah, what are you feeling there? They haven't given much away from the kicking standpoint. I think I had one guy that I talked to about a week ago, and he said, "Look, I think if they played tomorrow, I feel like Max Kelly will get the first crack at it. But we've still got to get through the month of August. So, have you heard anything else? Anything different?"
Not a lot. I mean, everybody's been real consistent on their kicks, and it just is a case of like, well, how much does experience count? How much does experience here count? Max Kelly's been here, but he hadn't kicked any field goals or PATs.
Yeah.
Upton Bellum fans kicked PATs and field goals, but not here. And Malik Orson, he hasn't kicked in college yet. So what's going to be the case? Now, coming into camp, I thought the way that they were talking, at least in the summer, about Malik Orson, I'm like, that's who I'm gonna project right now. But you get through camp and you start checking in and saying like, oh yeah, well they're all doing well. But I've heard the same thing that Kelly has been doing real well. And when you're the kickoff guy and the place kicker too, Jamie, you're not going to put too much wear and tear on your leg. That was a concern last year to saying, are you going to ask Mason Love to maybe punt and kick? Because, how does that wear you out? Never ended up happening, which I think was fortunate. So this year, by bringing in Orson, that third guy in May, it's like, okay, you're going to have enough guys to handle it without overloading anybody. So we'll see how the competition continues to go. And once they get out there, as we saw with the Parker White situation way back when, how many reps does he get? To say, maybe we better try it with somebody else, because you never know what's going to happen until it actually does.
Well, I think too about Matthew Smiley. I mean, the guy was an Air Force pilot. There's a level of accountability and maturity that he's probably looking for in this young man. And if you look at Max Kelly, I mean, I think he's married. Isn't he married?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, it's weird, man, just because of the days of this eligibility. Nolan Hay had his ring on yesterday. Brady Hunt just had his first son 3 months ago. He's been married about a year now, or a year or two now. So that's the thing. I mean, Demetrius Knight, 2 years ago, he was married with 2 kids when he got here. So it's one of those guys are maturing, and just because you may be 22 in college, you can still be 24 and still playing college football.
Yeah, it sounds like there's an NIL deal with like a Dodge Plymouth minivan waiting right around the corner for some of these cats, All right, let's talk about another freshman. Again, guys like you and myself and all of our friends and colleagues who cover the Gamecocks, you probably, being where you're from, maybe knew a little bit more about about this than others, but it took getting into camp for the word to get out that Sequel Patterson might be a dude here at the University of South Carolina, which is kind of crazy because it is a deep wide receiver room that returns a lot of players, and they added players who've played a ton of football. This kid hadn't played a snap at the collegiate level, but if you go watch his high school basketball tape, let alone the football stuff, you go, ooh, yeah, he might stand 6 feet tall, but he can get 10, 12 feet in the air almost, it seems like. I mean, he can just flat out get up there and go get it. So, Sequel Patterson, Mike Furry, I don't know, have you talked to Mike Furry about him in the last week or so? Yep. What is your latest on the young man?
Well, obviously, he's a tremendous guy from up around my way. And right now, as we speak, having a great familiarity with Indiana High School. The best 2 athletes that have come out of there are Sean Crawford, who won a gold medal and a silver medal in the hurdles at some Olympics, and Sequel. I mean, just an all-around guy. He's been, I would think, probably the best football player they've ever had. And they've had the 2 best seasons that they ever had the last 2 years. But he is a guy that everybody was hedging their bets on. It's like, well, he came in late because he wanted to run track and he wanted to play baseball. I get that. And I think he either won second or first at the high jump in the state track field. I have to look that up. But looking at him just in the first day without pads, it's clear he could jump to the moon. And he could be that option of like, you really get in a panic, send him on the steamer's route and just throw it up. He'll go get it. Now, he's got to learn a lot. He's got to learn how to cut. It can't be just like you outrun everybody at this level. And plus, he's behind some guys because he did come in late. If you ask me right now, today, hey, if Kent State's tomorrow, would it be even the top group of 6 or 8? Probably not. Yeah. I mean, maybe bidding for that 8th spot, but I think he would factor in on special teams. So it is a case of like, where do you fit this guy? Can he show enough in this week of preseason camp that he can fit in? But he's been impressive, and not just to Mike Furry, who knew what he had when he recruited him. He's been impressive to the entire staff. Like, okay, do we maybe have to readjust a few things and say, let's find a way to get this guy on the field? But he is an all-around athlete. He has got some shifty moves, and he can jump. And those are the kind of guys that are going to win these kind of jobs, Jamie.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think it's a safe bet going into the year when you look at special teams and you say, okay, you got Vicari back there, he's your punt returner. You got Nick back there, he's your kick returner. You always got to have somebody else, of course. But I mean, hey, you want the ball in Vicari Swain's as much as you can get the ball in Vicari Swain's hands as much as you can get it there. But to your point, Sequel Patterson, I mean, this young group of kids right now at South Carolina. I've heard more interesting stories than I can remember, at least in recent years past. Neff Giwa, I remember when he committed to Carolina, and JC was all over this. I got to give my friend some credit here. He was all over it, and the rest of us are going, this kid's never played football before, And then I'm laughing yesterday because in my head, I'm seeing the movie, the new version of The Longest Yard, when Shane Beamer's up there describing Neff Giwa, and I wrote something about it this morning on the bigspur.com, DC, and you're sitting here thinking, I'm curious what you were thinking, because I'm thinking, is the head coach of an SEC football team really standing on the podium? And I'm not beating up on Coach Beamer. That's not what I'm doing. Simultaneously explaining how he explains this sport to this kid who's never played it in the most difficult league to play in the country, but also at the same time entertaining ways to get him on the field and help their football team win games. That was a moment, at least in my mind. What did you get from that? What did you take away from his comments?
Really the same, Jamie, because you do realize just how deep you have to go to teach this kid football. Saying like, okay, now, we're going to go out there on a second down and you're going to do this second down. What? And you think, right. Okay. You really do have to teach him football 101. So while going through that, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not going to be as conducive in the first year to get him out there and actually play meaningful snaps on the offensive line. But I believe it is our friend JC who has mentioned it. Put him out there on punt block.
Yeah.
Put him out there on kick block and just see, because that could be relatively simple. Like, okay, we've taught you enough about offsides, but as soon as you hear Hut, just go right at him and see if you can get that big frame in the ball's path, because that's something that, yes, you do have to teach, but that's something natural that he could probably do right now. Now, of course, I'd heard about him and thought, okay, well, this is a nice little story to do. Who knows if he'll actually play? He came walking into media day, Jamie, the first time I've laid eyes on him. And I went, good God, I'll give you half scholarship just looking at you. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where he seemed very calm, and very lucid about it, just saying, no, it's not like drinking like a fire from a fire hose. Everybody's been very nice about explaining what to do. I've talked with Caleb Herring about what he's teaching him to do, and everybody's kind of taking him under their wing. So he's learning as much as he can. Of course, he'll have a whole nother thing to deal with once classes start, and he's got to get his academics in line and do that for 12 hours a day, or 12 hours worth of credits per day, and then come learn football. But he's a guy that I think you can have a certain use for in this first year while you're coaching him up to be a part of that offensive line. Mm-hmm. And right now, as we speak, all credit to JC, it's like, if you can get him in on teams, maybe even just as a blocker, you're going to have something really, really good to work with. I mean, right now he is that proverbial lump of clay, and everybody's got their fingers in it trying to make him into this thing. But he's got the talent, and he's got the want to, and he definitely has the physical traits. I mean, he is massive, and you think something that big isn't supposed to run that fast. But he's going to be the guy because he can definitely do it all.
I mean, he's 6'7", 305 pounds. I Google Maps his hometown of Cashel, Ireland, and I thought everybody in town's got to know this kid because this isn't the biggest place in the world. Rugby player, soccer player, never played football. And credit, I'm sorry, but I've been a teenager. We've all been at that stage in our lives where somebody is trying to do something we all know how to do and doesn't fit in. And there, more times than not, you're going to catch hell from someone.
Sure.
And if this South Carolina football team's kind of embracing this, it shows a level of maturity I think that Shane Beamer's been talking about for a while. He really likes this group of kids and their leadership. All right, final one. Got about 2 minutes here. They'll scrimmage at not 6:55 or 6:57, 6:56 p.m. on Saturday night. For the first
that exact moment.
For the first time in camp. What are your storylines going into? What questions are you excited to ask next week, hoping to get answers to?
I want to see just Browse obviously has the playbook installed. So it's like, do you just run, say, a 10-set package of base plays in this first scrimmage to make sure everybody can handle it? Are you already confident that they can and you can run everything you can throw at them? Does Linares play a half? Does he play that much? Does he play the whole game? Do you go ahead and try to start getting your other guys into there? And then really just all the defensive linemen outside of linebacker. Mm-hmm. We know who's going to be the linebackers. But at the safety spots, got a story on this tomorrow, don't discount David Busey being that starting safety. Now, I know they got guys behind him, particularly a guy who I know very well and is very talented. Yeah. But David is very, very talented, and he's a junior. He's been here. He knows what he's doing. And it's like, at times like these, you do have to lean on veteran experience a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. And then how much of the scrimmage time, because there will be time limits, do you work on just the kicking? And what do those situations look like? Are we going to see a PJ Fleck kind of thing where he comes running around the line and throws a cup of water in his kicker's face as he's about to connect? Do you have to start doing that right now? But it'll all be cases of we can't go to the scrimmage, but we obviously all know a lot of people. So we'll be working the phone Saturday night and Sunday like, hey, tell me something that happened. Let's try to get some. And mostly you hope to God you don't hear, oh, well, so-and-so left the scrimmage limping. Like, yeah. Ooh. Don't want to hear that, so let's hope we don't.
Yeah, they'll have probably about a 10-yard radius around Lenore's cellars, and if you step across that, you're suspended, if I had to guess. All right, there's been a lot of discussion, and I know Chris Clark's waiting patiently, but you were sitting front row yesterday. So there's been a lot of discussion about Shane Beamer's Nike shirt. How red was Shane Beamer's Nike shirt?
I mean, it wasn't nearly as bad as it looked on the video. I'll tell you that. I mean, it looked fine to me. I mean, there's so many different shades of garnet on so many different outfits and shirts and everything. And plus that backdrop that they've been using is pretty old. So I realize it's the thing to talk about now, but as much as people want to complain or whatever, it's like, listen, the merchandise is the merchandise. The only thing that matters is what they're wearing. The players are wearing. So I want to see what the women's soccer team looks like tonight if they wear garnets. They usually wear white at home. And then for the first football game, let me see how they look in at 10 a.m. And then let me see what they look like when they're all sweated up, because it'll be different. So I haven't had a problem with a lot of it. The shirt yesterday was a little bright, but the lighting made it look a lot worse than it actually was.
Fair enough. There you go. We're good. As long as they win, nobody cares what color, shade of whatever.
And you can't mess up black. I know you don't want to wear black under high noon, but you can't mess up black.
No, you can't screw that up, I don't think. On Twitter at DCPNC, subscribe to the PostandCourier.com. David Cloninger, one of the best in the business. We're honored to have you, my friend. And next week we'll get to rehash what we learn about Saturday night. Thank you.
Getting closer to high school football season. Go Trojans, go. Thanks for having me.
There you go. David Cloninger, 1025. Chris Clark is next when we return.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Ryan Brewer Fence offers a variety of services ranging from fences and railings to columns. Our craftsmanship, experience, and service is second to none. Visit ryanbrewer.net today. Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit ProtectWithBear.com to find out more. ProtectWithBear.com.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show. Part of the Chief Sports Network.
Someday, lady, you'll accompany me where the rivers meet the sounding sea. Feel it in my soul, it's meant to be. Oh, someday, lady, you'll accompany me. Someday, lady, you'll accompany me. You will accompany me.
All right, we are 24 days until South Carolina kicks off the 2026 football season. Welcome back. It is 10:28 here on Wednesday, August the 12th. Here's the update from Michael Debates in South Carolina football. Judge Collier, Tommy Durjaye, Caleb Herring, Sean Murphy, and Vicari Swain are all going to meet with the media here in about an hour and a half, I believe. Chris Clark is part of the media, Gamecock Central, where you can subscribe for the everyday low price of $2.49 per month right now for a couple of more days. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Jamie. Good to hear from you, man. Good to see you as always.
Well, I'm sorry we're a little bit late, but, DC, okay. He leads off in the press conferences. He leads off this program. He likes to hit lead off, and you don't ever know how long his at-bat's going to go sometimes.
Yes, he does put in a quality at-bat, so that's good. That's okay. I'm glad to be able to follow.
Oh, man. So I stole from Bruce Feldman. I don't know if you've looked at the website this morning, but I stole from Bruce Feldman. He does his annual freaks list. Mm-hmm. So I put up mine. I put up my 11 freaks for Carolina football, and I'm sure you could probably guess who number one is. He's the guy who they have number one in the country. I don't think there's much debate about that. But I'll tell you what, dude, I wasn't expecting that to be as difficult as it was. That was a little bit harder than I thought. I did 11 because you play 11 players at a time.
Makes sense.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We'll go from here. Here's where this isn't about me. I'm asking your opinion. Mm-hmm. But I left the top three as they are. Harbor, Dylan Stewart, and then Lenore Sellers. I put Swain at 4, and I put Julian Walker at number 5. Mm-hmm. You can go read that if anybody wants to. I thought Swain would make the Feldman list, but he did not. Neff Giwa, I put at number 6. Fred Johnson, 7. Darius Gray, 8. Sequel Patterson, 9. Mo Brown, 10. And Jacarius Peak, I put it at number 11. So if you had to grade that, give me a grade on it. And where would you disagree?
Oh, man. Good grade. You caught me off guard with the grading. Okay. I'm going to give you an A because I love you.
Thank you.
But I do have if we're getting picky,
Yeah.
maybe a couple bones to pick. First of all, the prime reason, aside from my love for you, that you got an A is because you referred to Mo Brown as a demon for his position.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, what can you say about that? That's phenomenal. And a great description of Mo Brown. Like, absolutely no regard for human life, including his own, when he's playing football, which is phenomenal. Here's the thing about the freaks list. Wes and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday. I think what Feldman, and I'm not trying to speak for him, I think this list is meant to be, here's some guys that are freaks, meaning normally they're big and fast, like at the same time. And it doesn't necessarily matter, like, if that translates to the football field necessarily, right? The reason I bring that up, like, Nick Harbor has made the freaks list, 3 out of the past 4 years? Or he's been, like, at the top of the list for many of those years. And early on in Nick Harbor's tenure, it had not translated yet because he was still learning how to play wide receiver, right? The version of Nick Harbor we saw at the end of the season, back-to-back 100-yard games against Clemson and A&M, like 2 of his best games in his career. So he's kind of looking to build on that. Then you look at a guy like Lenore Sellers, who was higher last year on Feldman's list. Last I checked, is not any less freaky than he used to be, but yet he dropped in Feldman's rankings. Why? My guess is because of the season that he had. Jacarius Peak was on his list last year, not this year. Is he less freaky? No, he was just injured and has been recovering. So what I'm trying to say is I think it bleeds over a little bit, even if you're trying to go into it with, like, all right, we're just picking guys who are freak athletes. Now, to your list, I think you got to go Harbor number 1. I think you got to go Dylan Stewart number 2. I was talking to Dion Barnes at Media Day, his position coach, and I just straight up asked him, like, man, have you seen a guy that at Dylan's size, 6'6", and as you mentioned, can bend like Gumby? That's pretty much what I exactly asked him. Have you seen a guy that can bend around the edge while running full speed like that? And he said, I'm going to be honest, like, not at that size. And Dion's been in the NFL. Like, he's been around some big time guys. He coached Abdul Carter. He coached Chop Robinson, 2 guys who are not 6'6". And so I think, and Sellers, you could have him there too. Some of what Sellers does isn't even necessarily some metric in the weight room or in the 40, which they're impressive for his size. It's just, oh, look at that guy. He just ran over 7 Clemson Tigers in one run. That's a freak right there.
Right.
The only other thing that I would really pick at is, and I haven't really picked at anything yet, I would probably put J.R. Johnson higher on this list.
Well, I admitted that when I put it in there. I was like, I just left him, though.
You just left. It's too hard. Yeah, I mean,
I couldn't go back and redo this thing.
Like, when you look at Vakari Swain, and I'm going to admit, I don't know Vakari Swain's weight room numbers. I don't know what he runs in the 40. A lot of what Swain does is just what he does on the field, like his elusiveness, being totally fearless and picking up punts, and then having the athleticism to be able to run. He's just, yes, he's got great athleticism, but he's just a football player. When I look at J.R. Johnson, I think he's a little bit freakier because here's a kid that's 6'3", 6'4", about 240 pounds, and you mentioned 4.5. I was actually told, Jamie, that he was running in the summer in the 4.4s.
Really?
So, like, 4.4, mid 4.4 range. And so that to me was like, all right, a little bit higher,
Okay. I mean,
good list though. Mad respect.
Well, look, there's a bigger picture with this, which is I think that South Carolina collectively has a really good group of elite athletes on this football team. I mean, we would have to go back probably a ways to compare and contrast and figure out, how good they would be compared to other years, other rosters and things like that. But I mean, you've got guys that just have such interesting stories. Like, I put Darius Gray on there for the sole purpose. The guy's been on campus for 2 months. And somehow, some way, not only is he competing to play, he's competing to play everywhere. I mean, they're looking at him at every position, and who knows what happens. I don't think he ends up being a center, but being third at center, that's not bad. If you're kind of popping around. Neff Giwa. I mean, sitting there listening to. I was just telling DC, you're sitting there listening to Beamer yesterday, And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm saying this in a good way, not a bad way. I'm not picking on Coach Beamer. Are we really sitting here? There's a SEC head coach up here who's explaining publicly that he has to explain how to play this game to a kid who's never played it, who's on the roster, and simultaneously he's saying, yeah, there could be a spot for him out there. You know, so when you look at stuff like that, you know, the things we've heard about Walker, you brought up Sellers. What I put on the list about Sellers was if Sellers had never played quarterback, if you just knew he was going to be a football player, but he had never thrown the football, I feel like there's a lot of other positions that Lenora Sellers could play. Like, what position would Lenora Sellers play if he wasn't a quarterback? And for me, that justifies everything when it comes to being a freak athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and again, some of the things, like if you're just going off testing numbers or whatever, like, you know, how far Lenore Sellers can throw a football, you know, pretty impressive. Like, got a big arm, very natural arm. Yeah, you could plug him in, like, yeah, to your point, if Sellers had never picked up a football and thrown it, and you said, hey, this kid's you know, if he got bigger and played defensive line, or if he played linebacker, if he played running back, like tight end, like he could play many spots in the game of football because of his size and his athleticism. It's extremely physical player, extremely impressive player. I just think some of those things, you know, your ability to break tackles, like what, you know, what gives you that? And a lot of it is the strength, right? We know Sellers can, you know, squat a metric ton basically. And so, you know, that helps you, you know, in terms of some of the plays that he makes on the field. They translate more than some other guys. They might not be even as impressive if you're just in the weight room or you got a stopwatch on them, but they translate over much better to the field. And I think, look, like to your point on having these freaky athletes and these talent, we all know you need talent to win. You know, nobody has scrapped their way to a championship, you know, ever. In fact, you know, like you look back, Jamie, I mean, you're a baseball guy, like the 2010 South Carolina baseball team. Yeah, they scrapped. They had a bunch of scrappy guys. You look back and you kind of didn't realize maybe at the time how much like talent they had on that team, you know? And it doesn't get you everywhere. It doesn't get you to the finish line. Like any of our Clemson fans listening are very frustrated because they're sitting there going, all right, we had 9 NFL draft picks in the top 5 rounds, and we had by their standards, subpar season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for South Carolina, they're looking at like some of these guys, the top 3 guys on your list all played for this team last year. They also all played for this team in 2024 when South Carolina was a really good team from a record standpoint.
Yep.
So you got to have the talent, but you got to put the other pieces together. And, you know, I do think when you look at even going beyond the freaks list, Jamie, like they've stacked up some talent that maybe in areas where they were more deficient last year. And that's to say nothing of, you know, all the coaching changes and things they made this offseason.
Well, which we were mentioning, we've mentioned Darius Gray twice. It goes to show even more what type of player this kid probably is going to end up being in South Carolina, because you know, they went to the portal. I believe it was, I know you've reported on this and talked about this, you know, and it's kind of become a widespread point. They targeted specific players in the transfer portal on the offensive line. They wanted to get older. They wanted to get guys who've been, you know, mostly as many as they could find, who've been in winning programs, who are mature, know how to lead, and all those type things. And yet this kid walks in the door in June, and here he goes. I want to ask you, there was a line you were in your insider report this morning that I really loved, because I'm a huge fan of Anthony Addison from Sumter, South Carolina, and he's I get nervous sometimes when you call people depth pieces. I think that sometimes can come off as negative towards the player. He's a depth piece. I do believe that if Dylan Stewart is healthy, that's probably the category that he's in. But make no mistake, I mean, this kid he spent the entire year and last year, I think he was the spring defensive player of the spring, or however you word that, defensive player of the spring. But you called him, he is a, quote, hair on fire player. I think that is really neat. I love kids who play football in Sumter and come play here at the University of South Carolina. What more have you learned about Anthony Addison? Obviously, with Stewart's health being a concern here, it seems like his reps are just going to continue to go up.
Yeah, I mean, you look back at the spring, and that edge room was lighter. You had Stewart out, you had Kobe Sechi-Pra was out, George Wilson was out, Quay Dodd was limited, and so you're looking around, and it's a lot of reps for Julian Walker, who you mentioned as a true freshman. It's a lot of reps for Anthony Addison. I think they benefited from that. Anthony is a guy that you love to have on your team and hate to play against. He's just absolutely relentless.
Mm-hmm.
Is he undersized? Yes. He does not look like Dylan Stewart. I think a path for him, Jamie, could be, you think about Brian Thomas Jr. I saw Brian Thomas Jr., who ended up being a starter and a very solid player for South Carolina by the time he was done. I watched him in high school at the camp where he ended up earning an offer from South Carolina. This is when Will Muschamp was here. And I didn't even realize it, but years later, BT told me that he was 195 pounds in that camp.
Whoa.
And he ended up getting up to like 245, 250. But so Anthony's never going to be Dylan Stewart in terms of 6'6", 255, but he's a football player. He's got some natural pass rush juice. He knows how to play the game, and he plays extremely hard. I mean, you ask anybody in the program about Anthony, that's what they're going to bring up. Like, he just never stops. He's the type of guy that, you'll see some kid running down the field and he's tackling somebody 40 yards down the field, and you go, that's a defensive end, running down there. Yep. So the other interesting thing that I kind of learned recently is I mentioned Deion Barnes and how he had coached some shorter guys who are not 6'6" in the past at Penn State. And, I think he kind of likes guys like that in some instances. Now, he loves Dylan Stewart, don't get me wrong, but he's got experience with those types of guys. And so I think when you're looking at Anthony, you throw George Wilson in there too. Like, people are forgetting about George. I think they can give you something on pass rush downs, and it gives you more flexibility if you're Deion, if you're Clayton White, of some different packages you can throw out there. But I think we're going to see him this year and potentially see him a good bit, at least in situations.
Well, I do too, and I really like the fact that they have to practice against the tempo offense. I mean, all those guys.
Yep.
This is a big deal. You look at what South Carolina will play this season in the SEC. Look, Mississippi State is a team that's probably going to try to move the football at a fairly quick pace. Obviously, they got a dual threat quarterback in Kamaria Taylor. I'm curious to see what Will Stein does up at Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky, we haven't equated Kentucky to offense in a long time. They've had some nice moments, but Will Stein is an offensive guy, and he even kind of patted himself on the back, which I don't blame him, at SEC Media Days. And you think about Alabama, you think about Texas A&M, you think about Tennessee. There are some offenses here that are going to present plenty of challenges for South Carolina this year. I didn't even mention Georgia, guys like that. And with Stewart's health concerns, although he's right on track according to Coach Beamer, these guys are all going to play. I mean, they're just all going to play. Yeah. It just is what it is. I agree with you. George Wilson, his name's been mentioned to me multiple times. He was going to play a lot last year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
All right. I brought up offense. I'll get you out of here on this. Just doing as much homework as we can, Chris, because we can't go into the ballpark anymore, and you can't take in I used to have two sets of binoculars, right? One, they were binoculars. The other, they were filled with bourbon. And you had to be careful about which ones you picked up to look through. And then, you remember those days.
Yeah.
So we can't do that anymore. The offense is the spacing has been something that's been brought to my attention multiple times. When you go back, you look at Kendall Briles' offenses, you see wide receivers who are lined up 2 and 3 yards off of the sideline, not the hash mark, off the sideline. I mean, they really stretch this thing. They utilize the hash marks on the opposite side of the field to get guys into space. That's just trying to understand a little bit more about what we're going to be seeing here. But then you've got the ultimate wild card key, whatever you want to call it, and all this in Lenora Sellers. Is there anywhere that you have gone back or believe you could go back looking at old film, old tape, when Kendall Briles was in charge of an offense in the last decade or so, is there a comp that you would utilize more to try to compare, study, and understand to what Lenoris Sellers is going to look like in this offense under Kendall Briles?
Yeah, great question, because he's had a range of, hey, we're going to play a wide receiver at quarterback because we don't have anybody. We're going to play, guys who are more limited athletically. We're going to play Josh Hoover, who's going to be playing for Indiana this year and had a great year passing the football. And we're going to play KJ Jefferson. Like, he's had that range of experiences. And so the first thing I'll say is I don't want to pretend to know for sure on the offense. But I do, what I kind of wonder about is a game that Shane Beamer has brought up, that he faced Kendall Briles, and that was when Kendall was at Arkansas in 2022. I was at that game. KJ Jefferson as the quarterback, Rocket Sanders, future Gamecock, former Gamecock now, as the running back, and he had a big day. So I think, like, ideally, is that what you want it to look like? Maybe so. A very, very balanced team, which Shane Beamer absolutely wants to be. They could run the football. They could throw the football. KJ's a different type of quarterback than Lenoris. I think Lenoris is a more gifted passer. He's also he's more like athletic and sudden. But KJ could absolutely run the ball. And so maybe that's a decent comp, with some twist, of course. I want people to go back and say, oh, let me go watch that game. Here's exactly what the offense is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because you've also got Nick Harbor, who Arkansas did not have. Arkansas had, some other pieces that South Carolina won't have. But that might be a better comp than, say, TCU last year. But I think there's going to be elements blended, with all that. Because you do have a unique guy in Sellers who can do a lot of things for you.
I agree. I mean, we focus more on KJ around here because it was against SEC defenses, and there are much more similarities between the two than Hoover. And you bring Derek King into the mix. Derek certainly, while he threw the crap out of it that season for Houston, he doesn't throw it as well as Sellers does either. And Sellers gets banged for how he throws the football, which is crazy. And he should. He's had some moments, but when I know Kendall hasn't had a quarterback like this since he's been off on his own, at least calling plays from post Baylor days. But we'll certainly see. Well, man, I know you got to get to it. Always appreciate your work. Certainly love working with you. There's no doubt about that. Gamecock Central, the Big Spur, we're all under one roof. And even if you don't like me and you can't stand JC, which there's a lot of you out there, we get it. How do you not like Wes and Chris and Jack and that whole group? And you can get them for less than $2.50 per month right now. That offer has been extended. I think we were like second or third in the country. And so they said, just keep doing it. So we're going to extend it through August 16th, I believe. So those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. Chris, thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday. Next week we get to talk maybe about some things that happened after the scrimmage.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. I'll see you next Wednesday. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. There you go. Chris Clark, Gamecock Central will hit a timeout. It's 10:49. Palm Casual presents our coverage of South Carolina football this fall once again. If you want to be comfortable outdoors, there's nothing like Palm Casual outdoor patio furniture. It is comfortable, it is clean, and it is guaranteed for life. PalmCasual.com. We'll be right back.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls? If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG.
South Carolina football. Young men come to Columbia as football players. Some become heroes, and few become legends.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. Gonna get there. It's gonna be painful. It's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends. Gonna teach 'em all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry. It's about to be legendary.
In Columbia, South Carolina, legends never die.
All right, 10:53, final quick segment here in hour number one. Appreciate our, as Coach Spurrier would call them, media boys, Chris Clark and David Cloninger. Some of you we may get a chance to meet, others who may not know about this. I'm telling you now. On Saturday at 5 o'clock, it's the grand opening of 5 Point Social. You guessed it, Phil, in 5 Points.
Right.
This is kind of a one of its kind type deal in South Carolina's most renowned entertainment district, if you will. Because first of all, we know the owners very, very, very well, and those guys are just tremendous. But they've kind of split it up into three different entertainment sections or areas, if you will, if that makes sense. You've got Station 90, you've got the Marquee Lounge, and you've got Sandstorm Live. So they can have live music. You can kind of sit there on the nice furniture and have yourself a good old fashioned, or you can kind of hang out in an old classic bar. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to be there. You know, we were invited to this and quite the honor, honestly, to be able to come. There will be lots of entertainment on Saturday night. Mary English is actually going to be playing as well. She's got some pretty good music, and she is the artist behind the what's the name of the song? The Carolina. Shoot, it just escaped me.
Must not be that good.
Oh, it's very good, but I'm blanking here because my brain is just not operating this morning. Anyways, it'll hit me as soon as this segment's over. I'm like, oh yeah,
of course, yeah, that's right. We'll come back with JC and be like, okay, here's what it is.
Yeah, matter of fact, I probably need to find a way to. I mean, it's about the University of South Carolina and Williams-Brice Stadium, things like that. Under a Carolina Sky.
Under a Carolina Sky. That's right. That's right. Yeah,
There
I've
you
been hearing that all over socials too. It's a pretty good song. I like
yeah,
it. Mhm.
yeah. She played. She actually did. I think she opened for Darius over at Colonial Life Arena, and Mary's a sweetheart. She went to South Carolina, and so excited to see her there. There's going to be a lot of really good folks in there. A lot of people that do a lot for for Gamecock Athletics. So if you're going to be in Columbia on Saturday and you would like to join us, please, 5 Point Social, you can go to the website as well. They've got the website up, 5pointsocial.com, and of course they're all over social media, and look forward to seeing some folks down there and hanging out on Hardin Street, 632 Hardin Street on Saturday evening. That'll be
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Got a lot to do in Columbia this weekend. I got to go up there on Friday, and it's getting that time.
That's right. Yeah,
yeah. You gotta go up and
Is there an open practice period this weekend?
There will be on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
That's okay. I
yeah,
thought
post
it was.
scrimmage. Yeah, the first 5 periods on Sunday, I believe.
Nice.
So, and that's it. That's the last one.
Right. Yeah, I knew there was one more, and then it's state secrets from here on out.
yeah. They lock the doors and kick everybody out. I don't know. I'll have to ask Shane what he thinks about doing an open practice and just collecting everybody's cell phones.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer.
We're not talking about that yet, are we? When is Shane? I was gonna
he will join us Monday.
I mean, I know the answer. This is rhetorical. It just hit me though. I was like, have we been talking about this?
No.
Okay.
No. We've been there are some logistical things we're trying to kind of figure out how we want to do on this end, but Shane we will get Coach Beamer on Monday.
That's right. Next week.
Yeah.
That'll work.
We'll get Coach Beamer on Monday. So excited to talk to Coach, and will be his first official conversation after the scrimmage. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Yeah. All right. It's 10:58, and we need to hit a timeout. It's National Vinyl Record Day. Do you have any records?
Yeah,
You have a record player.
I do. I also have a record player. I bought one for my wife for her birthday last year, the year before. So we're building back our record collection. One of the things that I could really just get on to my mother about is that she just got rid of all of her old records, which I'm like, why did you do that? That was crazy. Even if they just sat in a closet collecting dust.
Yeah.
It would have been better. I'd taken them all, but nope, they're gone. So we're building them back. It's fun. It's fun. Now we've got our eldest daughter's into music too, so pretty hard. So she likes to buy vinyl as well. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I enjoy mine. I think I've got 10 or 12 records. I'm not like a collector, but every so often I'm like, oh, I'd like that.
Same. That's about where we are. Yeah, I mean, it's less than 20.
If it still works, I don't know. I found one of my daughters the other day going, I was like, what are you doing? She's like, what's this thing for, Dad? I was like, get the hell out of here.
Get to rip the arm out of that thing.
God. Come on. All right. We'll step aside for a timeout. How about that? I'll ask you when I return if you agree with my freaks list.
Okay.
Curious. It's debatable. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't care about JC. I will not ask his opinion. But he'll probably give it anyways.
That's right.
Powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, Hour 2 next.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business.
We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecock Morning Show, part of the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by the West Law Firm, and brought to you in partnership with Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
It's the final hour of the morning show. Welcome back. Resto Pros and the West Law Firm present our programming. Thankfully, Resto Pros was there for so many of you in the Midlands last week, and looks like this week is just, there are some pop-up storms that have been bad. JC's like, tell me about it.
There's one going on right now.
Well, look at that.
Love it.
Again.
He's still in the bunker. Resto Pros Midlands SC, Resto Pros Midlands SC. If you or somebody you know needs something cleaned up, they'll get in there and do it for you. That's for dang sure, and they're really, really good at it. It's also very, very hot this week. They can't help with that, but they certainly can with flooding and storm damage and things of that nature. JC, glad to have you back, and looks like even after getting blown around in a tornado yesterday, the hair and makeup artists put you right back together.
Yes, they do a fantastic job. Fabian and Stephanie.
Okay.
They're my imaginary friends.
Stephanie.
Fabian and Stephanie. Well, if you had like a male and female hair and makeup artist, that's plausible names.
I don't know why the name Giacomo came to my
Giacomo
wardrobe.
I don't. Giacomo. It's pronounced Giacomo.
Giacomo, as it would be in 2020.
Giacomo Pierre. Stephanie would have an Asian last name though, like Stephanie Chin.
Yang.
Or Yang. Yeah, one of those.
Y'all thoroughly love jumping on the air every day and finding people to piss off, I've learned over the years.
My wife's Asian.
Oh, I know that.
The clock is ticking on us to derail it somehow. Now,
we're not. We should have done a preempt.
If you don't mind,
we can get back to business now. Go ahead. What you want to talk
do
about?
I have to show the paper? My name's on the paperwork. If you run this ship ashore, guess who's also going down? I ain't going down with you.
I saw the clip from Titanic when they realized the ship was sinking the other day. Who was that guy that was just like complaining? When is it going to get better? Right. It's not. It's going to sink, and like the look of horror on his face. Imagine that. And back in the day, you had to go down with the ship if you're the captain. That's like a baseball rule.
Oh yeah. Now you're the first one on the life.
Going to die.
The hell with these guys. I'm out.
Now it's like, hey, see you guys. Enjoy your cruise.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to hit the buffet on your way out.
That's right.
I think that, not to make light of anybody who may have extended family that they lost in the Titanic, because it is not funny. But going back to the movie, if I could be any character in that movie, as far as who would I be on the ship when it was sinking, I would probably be part of the little band that was just playing the violin. The hell with it. I'm going to grab a drink and grab my violin and just go. We're going to go out on top here. I'm going to play some music and adios. That would be. I wouldn't be running around screaming. That just wouldn't be me.
No, I'd like to be Molly Brown.
Oh, okay.
That way you get a spot on the boat and get out of there.
Yeah.
Not Jack, though.
Nope.
Because Rose took his diamond and dumped him in the bottom of the ocean and married a poor man. And then when she got to heaven, she went right to the guy she hooked up with on the cruise.
That's right.
What a horrible person.
What a terrible person.
Generational wealth with that diamond. Grandkids will never have it.
Nope.
Threw it in the bottom of the ocean.
Lost it in the bottom of the
It's
ocean.
been 140 years. Yeah, you're 140 years worth of going straight to hell for this.
Jeez.
She's next to Jenny from Forrest Gump. She's the biggest
She's
female
a very
villain.
deplorable character.
Like Lucy Liu in Kill Bill has nothing on her.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Because Rose's crimes were supernatural, right?
Yeah.
Because when she died and got to heaven, just right to that boy she hooked up with as a teenager on a cruise. That's like my wife when she gets to heaven trying to find the guy that she hooked up with at senior week in high school. Richard Marx's Endless Summer Nights not playing when you get to heaven,
not
honey.
Playing. It's not
playing.
Not the soundtrack in heaven.
It's not playing. Gabriel's not strumming that out.
Anyway. Welcome back, JC.
Speaking of,
I had a lot to say. That's better than the Costco thing, Phil.
It's good. You're right.
This guy once sold a not full case of beer at a yard sale. JC Sherbert.
I glued it back together.
That's right. Oh boy. For probably, I think, the low price that you can join the Big Spur, $2.50.
Deal. Lots are taking advantage of that deal, by the way. So they extended it till next Wednesday.
I know. Pretty good stuff. Coming up at 11:30, Phil, I'll squeeze in our Gamecock report. It's not very lengthy, but couldn't get it in today, obviously, with DC being on time and fired up and ready to go this morning. So I just asked Chris Clark the reason why people subscribe to the Big Spur, unlike the rest of us losers, about the freaks list, our freaks list. I say our, I'm lumping all y'all into this, like y'all had something to do with it.
Nothing.
It was mine. Okay, so hate mail, that can go to jcsherbert@gmail.com. He'll forward the stuff to me that needs to be read. What'd you think? Where do you disagree?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, had I actually seen we talked about it, but I haven't seen what you actually came up with.
Oh. Well, I think
I'll go through it.
The big picture is that it's hard to do.
Oh, and it's a good thing for South Carolina.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't remember a time when we were debating this. I mean, before, I don't remember a time they had more than one, maybe once every now and then a freak on the freaks list either from Feldman.
We would have probably been able to debate it if it was around. How long has this thing been around? It wasn't around during the heyday of Spurrier, right?
Yeah, I think Cloninger was maybe on it. Bruce has been doing this for a while. He did it.
That's when it came out. That might be when it started.
Yeah, it started back then. Okay, so Nick, number 1. Dylan, 2. All right, so there's probably some discussion to be had. Like, is Lenoris as a quarterback a little more freaky than Dylan? But then Dylan's sort of freaky for an end too because of the way he bends and stuff.
Yeah.
And people have to keep in mind it's not a players list. It's not the top players. It's the biggest freaks. I mean, obviously, there are more productive football players than Nick Harbor. That's the key for Nick Harbor this year is can he go from super freak to super player?
Well, was it too bold? Did I go too bold my comment was, or one of the statements I had on Harbor, if Harbor's development at wide receiver continues on its track this season inside of a real college offense led by Kendall Briles, South Carolina may have the most dangerous wide receiver in college football in 2026. Is that too far or too bold?
No, dangerous is I mean, that's a perfect description. And great receivers are dangerous. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, obviously a dangerous player. Guys, the guy Clemson Wesco is coming off the injury. He's dangerous when healthy.
Dangerous. Good player.
Really good player. There's danger. Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman's going to be dangerous at Texas. So it's just, you're right. But I think that's apt because the whole thing with Nick, and I've kind of started on this thing on the Insiders Forum where I'm talking, when I talk about Nick, people have to understand he's more Troy Williamson than Alshon Jeffrey. And I think some of the, I guess not criticism, but maybe the expectation was, here's this 6'5" guy. He's going to be like Sidney Rice and Alshon or Brian Edwards and go up and get it. That's not his game. He's much more of a sprint, go and leave type of guy, like Troy was, a deep ball guy like Troy was, except he's 6'6", 243 pounds.
Yeah, I heard, I guess it went in one ear and out the other. I don't know how this escaped me to not go and follow up on what Shane said last week or 2 weeks ago when he said that Harbor had actually grown an inch. They measured him and he was now 6'6". And I was like, what?
That's how big Kalimba Edwards was, that big as a senior.
Yeah. I mean, Harbor's he's 6. Think about that for a second. He's running a 4.440, a 10-1, 100 meter in track, and he's 6'6", 245 pounds.
And he doesn't look it either. He's got a lean build, and you watch him and watch him go through drills. He looks just like a tall receiver. I mean, like if I looked at him and eyeballed him, I would say, he's about 6'5", 220 tops, but he's not. And he's got that thickness and, he plays physical when he wants to. I mean, that's why he's the gunner on the punt team. I mean, that's why he's the gunner on the punt team. I mean, he gets big, long guy coming at you like that. Here's the thing. I think that every year he's added something to his game, and we usually see it toward the end of the preceding season. Okay. So like against A&M in 23, I don't know what it is about A&M. He caught like 6 passes. Okay. Yeah. Caught everything that was thrown to him except one drop in that one. Looked really good doing it. So we figured out, well, Nick can catch the ball. And the next year at the beginning, he was running that little crossing route, catching it 5, 10, 8 yards, all that good stuff, doing what he does best. Well, then against Missouri and Wofford later that year, we find out, he can go deep. So that came on. And then all year last year, he was doing that to a high level. It's the best play they had on offense last year, throw it up deep to Nick.
Sure.
I think at the end, in the A&M game in 25, we saw finally, and I said all summer, that's what I want to see out of him. Caught the ball, turned it upfield, split the defenders, turned on the jets. Go.
Yeah, ran away from everybody.
Ran away from everybody. That one play, and look, so I understand that it's like, okay, well, it's one play. But Nick has shown during his career that sometimes like 1 or 2 plays will happen the previous year, and then he masters it. So the next year it happens frequently. In Kendall Briles' offense, I think the idea would probably be get him in space to where he can turn up field. I'd like to see him break tackles too, but he can at his size. He that kind of thing, and turn on the jets. That is a difficult proposition. And in this league, you have corners that are bigger. You're 6'1", 6. They don't go with a lot of smaller corners, but there are smaller corners out there that start.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a guy that can catch it and then run through your tackle and then accelerate, there aren't anybody that can catch him, as A&M showed us last year once he's in the open field. There were guys in that pulling that play, JB, that had some angles a receiver that was maybe not as fast would have gotten tackled on that play, but he left them. And I think that is the evolution for Nick, because, you know, right now what everybody's preparing for is just don't let him get deep. Don't let him get open deep. Do what you got to do. And then once you try to double team a guy like that, what does that mean? There's going to be somebody else open, and Kendall Briles will and Lenore Sellers, they'll scheme that up and take advantage of it. And you've got a lot of other good receivers that, you know, maybe Nick is, if they're just like in defense, everybody's worried about Dylan Stewart. Well, these other guys end up thriving. You have to have some good players to do that, but they have that. And so I think it's overwhelmingly positive. You know, nobody's worked as hard as he has at receiver that we've known about, like that's documented, since Alshon. Alshon was already and Alshon's a different type of receiver now. So let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
Alshon, and practice was open back then. We'd stay after practice. Spurrier would be talking to the media boys, and Alshon would be out there trying to work on his routes. And he did that every single year he was at South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people that understand how hard Alshon Jeffrey worked. And it paid off. I mean, Super Bowl champ, really good pro receiver for the Bears and Eagles. Alshon was one of the greats. He didn't just get there because he was this really great athlete coming out of Calhoun County. He got there because he worked and perfected it. And Nick has that same level of work ethic. Am I predicting Alshon type results? No, Alshon had the best receiving year in the history of Carolina football in 2010. But you know what? On that team, you had him, you had Torrey Gurley, Ace Sanders was a freshman. Who else? Not a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that was basically the Alshon show. There's a lot more options here and all that. But I just think that, you know, I've been very, and I wrote about this on the site yesterday, I've always erred on the side of hold on a minute with Nick, because I know how hard he works, and I know that it's not just add water, be a receiver. If that's the case, they'd recruit off the track team all the time. But I believe that this year, when you talk to people around the program, the buzz is different about him. It's just a little different. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, well, we hope Nick does it. It's like, well, Nick's the guy.
Well, I think that one of we talk about Lenore Sellers as it pertains to Kendall Briles' offense in a very simple manner. If you really go back over the last 9 months, you can simplify the conversation surrounding Lenore Sellers to let Lenore Sellers be Lenore Sellers. Like, the ball needs to be in his hands, right? And what he does with it in his hands is because he's a quarterback. You know, yes, he's going to throw the football sometimes. He's going to run the football sometimes. He's going to hand the football off sometimes. But like last year, he didn't run it enough, right? And so it wasn't necessarily in his hands enough. And that's kind of been the sticking point, was you've got this kid who has all this talent. We saw it. It's not like we've been hearing stories from camp for 3 years. We watched him perform in 2024. And then last year, we felt like his game, what he did well, the thing that energized him, that built his confidence, that made Lenore Sellers who he was taken away from him. I'm not so sure this hasn't been taken away from Nick, but I'm not so sure that the conversation is really much different surrounding Nick Harbor, JC. Just get the ball in his hands. You know, I mean, we watched him last year. Phil, you joke about it all the time, but I mean, it is funny to joke about because they were so bad. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then. But, you know, we need to score. Just heave this son of a gun 60 yards down the field, and more than likely he'll catch it. And
somewhere.
Yeah, you know, he's probably down there somewhere. And if you can overthrow Nick Harbor, you know, you can overthrow a fighter jet. I mean, it's just now you've got a system where you would like to think it is going to put the football in his hands much more often. And going back to what you just said a minute ago, JC, you know, obviously what we saw at Texas A&M, How many of those opportunities are there in 12 games this year for Nick Harbor? Because can you name one player and just name one? And I'm not. You don't have to know every name in college football. There's really only a few names that you need to know. Is there one player in the sport who can catch him? Because there's not one to me, not that I'm aware of. Maybe somebody's popping up that we're going to soon find out about. Fair enough. But so if you look at Harbor, how often can I get the football in his hands? And then let's see what happens from there. Because it doesn't have to be 50, 60 yards. He can get 50, 60 yards down the field in a heartbeat. But with all the space they use on this field, in this offense, all the space that's out there, all the creative ways he gets the football to players, the more the ball touches his hands, the more dangerous South Carolina is going to be.
Yeah, and you think about the offense. Kendall Browse uses some of those wide. Kind of like Tennessee. I mean, it's there's a lot of similarities between Tennessee's offense and what Kendall Browse likes to do, and that spreads the defense. I mean, how many times the last 3, 4, 5 years have we been sitting here on this show going, why did they crowd the middle of the field, the hash marks, and so that's a big difference, the hash marks. I never thought we'd be sitting here talking about the importance of the hash marks and the center not getting false start penalties, but that's where we're at. So that, to me, for a guy like Harbor, who, if you give him a little space and he's gotten to the point where he naturally finds the space. I heard your conversation with David about Neff Jiva. Thanks for the credit, by the way, both of you.
You're welcome.
But I still think he needs to block kicks. But he might be. I know that was exciting when I heard that. Because I've been hammering that, dude. I'm like, teach him to block.
Teach him to block.
I mean,
That's right.
I'm sitting here watching Beamer yesterday. I'm just like, what's happening right now?
This is a first down. When we get there's 4 downs. Man, as an aside there, it's like I've been talking about complicated offenses and how hard it is to learn offenses, and you shouldn't make it complicated for college kids. To learn the entire sport of football, which took me until I was age 9 to learn it, and I was speaking Spanish when I was 3. Not a dumb guy when I was a kid, at least. I can't imagine that. But anyway, with Harbor, if you can find the space, and he's been taught to find it and go, there's just those little cross. How many times have we been watching Clemson? I'll use Clemson as an example because I know y'all may lie, but you watch every game and pull against them. How many times you're watching Clemson and their quarterback just drops back, boom, fire, the guy's just wide open on a little art, and he catches it and usually gets tackled, little 8-yard out or something, or in. I think it's an in. Man, you start doing that all day long with Harbor and you spread the defense like that, there's going to be space. If you can find the space and find a crease, he's gone.
Yeah.
And it won't just be deep balls. And then on the deep balls, Kendall Browse will throw it deep in a heartbeat. You won't even, go back and watch my game. I watch is 2021 Arkansas and A&M. They're sitting there running and throwing little passes and running. Then all of a sudden, Treylon Burks deep 75-yard touchdown. That's how you do it. You can't just say we're going to throw it deep to 8, and you'll connect sometimes, but sometimes you won't. But that's the way you do it. You set them up, and then.
Yeah, I mean, if he's getting the attention, that means somebody else is not being double covered. And there's enough speed in this wide receiver room to be able to get behind defenses, not just with Nick. And I'm expecting some guys to get some yards after the catch that aren't wearing the number 8 just because he's on the field out there and having to be accounted for.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you now, when we're preparing, which no disrespect to you guys, it was generally just me, but that's okay. Preparing for the preview show on Fridays, when I'm doing homework throughout the week, looking at the other the opponent, whoever it is, you can bet your rear end the first place I'm looking as it pertains to their defense is who plays safety and how good are they. Honestly, I mean, safeties can be, there's going to be some exotic defenses that we're going to see this year. Obviously, Brent Venables is pretty exotic when it comes to that. And who plays back? I mean, JC, you already said it. Phil, you just said y'all have already said this. Last year, that was pretty much the only play they could score on. And even when they knew it was coming, Harbor still somehow got behind them. Like, I mean, if you were a defensive coordinator for any team that South Carolina played last year, is that not something that's being coached all week long? Don't let him get behind you. And he still got behind everybody. So it's crazy to think that that's not going to be maybe priority number one this year, in addition to just get to the quarterback and make Sellers make a decision. But I'm just talking about from that group. Do not let him get behind you, and he's still going to get behind you. So how good are those guys?
That's the thing too, man. Yeah, the safety especially. There's not a safety in the league, in this league, that can outrun him. Here's the other part of it. I think my gut feeling is, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But my gut feeling is, based on how he improved in this category last year and how he consistently improves, and the fact the guy's been lifting weights. I mean, he's very strong.
He looks unbelievable.
A very strong player. How are you going to jam this dude at the line of scrimmage and keep him from getting off the line?
I don't aside some of these DBs.
I don't think that you're doing that.
That's a way you can. That's a way you can slow a guy like that. That's fast. Is you can jam it. I mean, you can keep him from getting off the line. And
but if you're Kendall, you think about all the motions and everything he uses here, pre-snap stuff from. He's not going to let Nick Harbor just stand there and get held up for a split second at the line of scrimmage.
I don't think we've seen Nick Harbor in motion once since he's been here.
Yeah,
coming. I mean, y'all. Maybe I'm probably somebody that
couple
knows.
Times. I mean, they've handed the football off to him.
Yeah, they did do that.
A couple of like sweeps with him and fake.
That play at A&M when he was a freshman, they hit a little hand.
Okay, so that goes back to what we were just talking about, though. I put this in an intel piece yesterday with somebody I was talking to about this. If you're going to run plays like that, you have to run that to the wide side of the field. When you've got a guy like Nick Harbor is the one dude who, these plays that kind of get busted and oh shoot, I'm a little bit behind the sticks here, and you have to stretch it out a little bit further just to see if you can't get back to the line of scrimmage. We see it every game, right? You run some sort of a sweep or something like that, and the defense sniffs it out. Well, what are they taught to do, JC? Phil, what are they taught to do? If you can't extend the play. Extend him all the way to the sideline so he doesn't have anywhere to go. So he ends up running out of bounds, or you just drag him down behind the line of scrimmage. That's what these guys are taught to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you running it to the near side of the field? If you're South Carolina,
they'll never see this coming.
You've got one guy who every stride he makes is 2 or 3 of the dude who's trying to defend him. If you're going to run a play like that, run it into space. Give him a chance to at least outrun it if something bad happens. If everything is executed perfectly, he gets to turn it and go. But if not, your safety valve is he is the fastest guy on the field. I couldn't figure that out.
I think too, though, and I'll just be honest about this. I think there's maybe better candidates for those types of plays too, because what Nick isn't is extremely elusive. He's not. Sure. He's not a shake and bake. He's not a shake and bake.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying if that's where you're using him, the way that they were doing it was
Oh God, no doubt. But I mean, on the wide side of the field, and sometimes when you run those little gadget plays like that or jet sweeps or whatever, they are WAO, which is wide arse open, and that he's a touchdown because he's gonna burst up the field. And just nobody's going to catch it. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by it, folks, gentlemen. And it seems like every time we talk about something like this, the next day there's something else that's intriguing to talk about, and that has to give people confidence.
Yeah,
it's 11:30. We're going to take a very confident break here. We'll touch a little bit more on this list when we return, and we do have to squeeze in a Gamecock report, so we'll squeeze that in as well. Somebody opens their season today, in case you didn't know. If you didn't, we'll remind you. It is August the 12th, 24 days from kickoff at Williams-Brice Stadium. powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, or you can. I don't even know if those things go as fast as Nick Harbor does anymore. Maybe they do, but at least you can compete with him if you're on an electric bike. Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to thebigspur.com. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where every chance at a win comes with a chance of a whiff.
Wait, what? What does she have to be so happy about?
Well, quite a bit, Jeff. That face right there, that's a face that says fun. But when the game stops being fun and that face goes away, it might be time to take a break.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Mystery voice?
No problem, Jeff. Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you.
You know, in Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Today and every day, we celebrate our great state of South Carolina. This week, our hometown highlight takes us to the PD in Lake City, home of the great Darla Moore and our friends in Johnsonville. We love the PD.
Hey guys, this is Mason West with the West Law Firm. We want to say hey to all our friends and family out in Lake City and the Johnsonville areas. This is a great football part of the state. We can help y'all out in any way. Give us a call, 843-897-7525.
What's going on in Gamecock Country? It's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions on the morning show. Visit GamecockTraditions.com or in Lexington and get your gear and apparel today.
All right. Yeah, so the first thing has nothing to do with South Carolina, but I want to give a tip of the cap to whoever was in charge of this startling moment last night on television when I was flipping through the channels, getting ready to take the kids up to go get a shower, and right there locally on Channel 5, there were the Atlanta Braves playing the New York Mets. Braves Vision TV, which was awesome to see on regular television. So I told the kids go get themselves showered, and I watched the Braves. Bill,
wow, that's it was like 1992 all over again.
It's tough parenting there. You know, first day of school, get your rear ends up there.
That's right. Go get yourself clean. Daddy's busy.
Yeah, Dad's got a game to watch here. Braves, for what it's worth. It's so like a month or two ago, everybody, oh, God, they got to do this. They got to do that. They can't do this. They can't do Bro, they're leading the division by 8.5 games. The Braves are okay. They're going to be in the postseason. They're going to have a chance to win the World Series.
I've never seen more angst. There's more Braves angst and consternation this year than last year.
I know. And they're 24 games above 500. Come on.
My.
Well, speaking of Nick Harbor, he's on the Danny Warfel Trophy watch list, the nation's top quarterback. What? No, I'm just kidding. The award goes to the player who leads through community while excelling in the classroom. That's the other thing about Harbor. he's always out doing something publicly. Have y'all ever noticed that? I mean, he goes to all sorts of events, reads to classrooms. I mean, he's just all over the place. So hat tip to Nick Arbor, who's just been exceptional since you've been in South Carolina. Dylan Stewart, he's on the Lombardi Award watch list. This award recognizes the nation's premier lineman and or linebacker. The 2027 South Carolina women's basketball slate is out. And for those that want to go check that, there's what, 4 or 5? 5, I think. 4 teams that finished well up there in the top 25 last year, including some home and homes like Oklahoma. But it's available, and it's right around the corner. Soccer tonight, the ladies at Stone Stadium, 7 o'clock. JC's, he's been on a joke roll today. It's the Cocks and the Beavers at the Graveyard.
The Innuendo Bowl.
That's right. Open the season. How about that?
They've only played in women's sports.
Yeah.
Advantage Beavers.
Well, I think that I could read the headlines if it was football. We could all read the headlines.
You see here, the Beavers are getting. Never mind. I was going to say something, but never mind. I'm going to ruin the Gamecock report if I keep going.
Probably be a little bit more than the report, but it's all good. Practice number 5 is in the books. Carolina walked off the field about 20 minutes ago. Defensive players will meet in 20 minutes today with the media. I mentioned at the top with David Cloninger who those guys are. Vakari Swain, Sean Murphy, Caleb Herring, Tomi Durajaye, and Judge Collier will be the 5 defenders who get to speak today. And then 6:56 on Saturday night, Carolina will scrimmage. They'll practice every day the rest of the week, including the scrimmage on Saturday, and then have Monday off. Gamecock Traditions is a Nike superstore right now. They have plenty of stuff to go around in general. But seeing as that we're a little over 3 weeks away from kickoff, somebody this weekend is going to walk out into their garage, or they're going to go open the toolbox in their truck, or wherever else they have tailgating stuff, and they're going to go, oh, blank, that's rotten, that's old, I need a new one, I don't have this, I need this. Gamecock Traditions. They'll ship it to you, or you can just go do it the old-fashioned way. Walk around and shop. GamecockTraditions.com. Go see them in the Midlands. All right, so did you disagree with any of the 11? Like, I'm really curious now. Chris, by the way, Chris gave me an A. He gave me a letter grade, an A, for 2 reasons. One, he said he loves us.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. The other, though, was because the position that I listed Mo Brown was demon. It's not even a real position.
Is it? Oh.
Well,
I thought that was something new Bryles brought with him.
Like, think about, how would you describe Mo Brown? He tackles, he catches the football, he runs around crazy, and he wears a neck roll.
So, yeah, I mean, versatility. That's what he is. He's a picture of versatility.
He's a demon. I don't think a lot of people realize how big he is. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He's huge.
And I think you don't notice that he's big because he's in the tight end room that's loaded with 6'6" plus dudes.
I know.
Yes. You're like, oh man, that guy's kind of small.
He's just a little guy.
No, I like what you got here. I think it's interesting. You're a little outside looking in here at some
of this is on
Currents
Intel.
and Tuggle are pretty good. I mean, because they're I don't know.
Did
Noah Clark is the name that came to mind.
Yeah,
for me though, I was
Sure.
like, yeah, it's probably one that you could argue could be in that top at least.
Well,
dozen.
I would. You absolutely can. I went a little bit more the versatility route with this group, as far as like the point I made on Lenore Sellers was, okay, if he wasn't a quarterback, if you just knew he was a football player, but he's not your quarterback, where are you going to play him? And you could probably come up with 4 or 5 positions to play Lenore Sellers. Like, in my mind, that makes you athletically a freak. What about Noah Clark? Where else is he playing? I'm not saying he's not a freak. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying my justification for the list, if Clark isn't playing defensive tackle, where's he going to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think he played both ways in high school a little bit,
Fullback.
but you can't do that. Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you're not going to ask a
6'5", 340-pound fullback
game.
Yeah.
Good luck stopping that.
I mean, I would have probably put a Clark on there. I think I don't know who I would have left off. I think Jazavian Currents. You know, so if you're going Jazavian Currents versus Julian Walker, I mean, Julian Walker has a chance to be a special player. Is he a freak? Is he different than most of the guys? To me, he's a lot like Thibodeau from Oregon. People freak about that. Thibodeau was #1 player in the country, and oh my God, you're a homer and sunshine pumper. I'm like, well, Julian was 15th. There's not that much difference. I mean, he still was up there, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's a carbon copy. He's just similar. To me, Thibodeau is an elite player. Did he do things Clowney could do? Could he bend like Dylan Stewart? I don't know. Jazavian, there's not many guys walking around like him, you know? So if it were me, maybe I would have considered that. And then, you know, I gravitate, and we all use different methods of determining freaks, right? I probably gravitate more towards the big guys. I would leave myself some, like Fred Johnson. You guys know I'm the president of the Fred Johnson fan club. Would I necessarily have him on a freaks list? I would have to think. I would have to look at his name and probably like, oh yeah, I need to have him on. And so, yeah, I mean Clark and Currents, but it's funny because you know I wrote about freshman freaks over the weekend.
Sure.
Because I've not seen a class at South Carolina where there's this many guys. And folks, keep in mind, Neff Jiwa is in the middle of this list, and he's not going to play offense or defense this year.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not just the best players.
We don't think.
Freaks can be, we don't think.
I mean, have you seen him catch a football? Because he might be able to. He played rugby.
Ball security probably not an issue.
Look,
with this guy,
here's
right?
the deal, right? I mean, I'm not going that far yet. This is probably going to get taken out of context, but I'm just not going to be shocked at all when they're on the 5-yard line in Tuscaloosa, and you're like, who the hell is number 63, and why is he at tight end?
So long as he doesn't throw the damn ball, I'll be happy with it.
Well, that's the part that you don't get here. He was brought in to actually play goal line quarterback.
He's playing edge and goal line QB.
We're putting that back in.
I'm telling you, Kendall, this play was going to work. I saw it. If that dude wasn't standing there, it would have been a touchdown.
If that guy hadn't have been standing there. That defensive player.
Those 2 guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's those 2 guys. Right. Yeah.
Shake my head. I mean, you know, that was really on Beamer, though. I mean, we could gripe about Saturday. I think the play before when Satterfield put Joyner out there, knowing that season DeCarrion kept the ball every time he ran the Wildcat.
Yeah, the 2 plays together,
back to back, second and third down too.
I know you're like
after
great.
You finally, for the first time, I mean they had trouble running the ball against East Carolina until they put Juju McDowell out there. You're finally running it up Tennessee, and that's how you slow a team like what Tennessee was doing that day.
Literally ran it to the goal line.
Yeah, I mean,
that was so. Anyway, let's not
relive.
Let's not go there. It's a bad memory.
You know, it's thoughts like that that are good to temper our expectations heading into the new year.
Kendall, I need you to check this play out. We called it the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Right.
Good God.
Yeah.
You get your defensive end. Just make sure he's left-handed. Let him throw it into the end zone.
But no, I think all these are good choices, and like we've all said, freaks don't mean you're going to win. Freaks don't win games. Football players do, but when you get great football players that are freaks, that's when good stuff happens.
The list really. I mean, it's. I mean, it's not like I didn't try and use what intel we have and things like that to be able to put it together, but it's the big picture is really the point. It's debatable. And as a matter of fact, I mean, I was, it was extended to 11. A brilliant man said, well, why don't you make it 11 since there's 11 players on the field? So I heeded the advice and did so. And even in doing that, I'm sitting here thinking, golly, Jasavian Currents. Oh, Clark, like these are guys who everybody wants, right? And South Carolina has them. So when you can write a list out of guys who, like guys like that, find places. I mean, there's no way I was leaving Mo Brown off that list. Like, no way. And look at you go back and look at his career, and you're like, well, he's on punt block, he's on kick return, he's on the kick team, he's on offense. Hell, they might try him on defense. He's got a neck roll. He can do whatever he wants. If they can't get a kicker by game 1, he might be out there kicking. We just don't know. So you just have so many guys who are just really, really incredible athletes. Some have already proven it. Some have not.
I like the thought that if you take away their position that they currently play on the team and replaced it with ATH, would they succeed? Or would you be shocked or surprised that's what they did? And I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good metric to judge a freak.
I think that if Shane Beamer is back in his office yet and he's watching this, he's like, I just got another idea for my depth chart. I'm going to have athlete or athlete or athlete or athlete at every position on the field.
Don't give anybody any ideas about that, please.
Right. That's right.
It's hard enough as it is.
Luke
the struggle's real, man. Why are you at?
Doty is on the coaching staff. He's probably pushing for that now.
I think. All right, so who could play other positions? And I briefly saw a tweet that you were discussing this. I don't know whether Lenore Sellers could. Maybe tight end.
Oh, come on. You're better than that.
Is, can he catch the ball? I mean, because you don't typically put a 6'3", 240-pound running back out there. But
I don't think he gets low enough to be a running back, and he's not Derrick Henry.
Okay, fine. Then you don't have to play running back, but I mean, the way that kid moves, his footwork, everything that he does, you really don't think that if he walked onto a college campus with all of his athleticism, he's like, I don't know what position I play. You don't think they'd try him at safety or corner or linebacker? He's 6'3", 240 pounds.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I like him on
high
offense.
School, they make that kid the QB. That's how we get here.
Yeah,
I know that, but I'm just saying this is about athleticism, right? Yeah. You don't think he's a good enough athlete to play 3 or 4 other positions on a football team?
Oh, Lenore, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
no question. So some of these are easy. Jacarius Peak, I think he's a 3 technique, but you could slim him down to 275 and he could play edge.
Did y'all know that Jacarius Peak was 380 pounds in high school?
I heard him say he had an interview with 1801 over the summer, and he was talking about that. He was that big and wanted to play basketball. And his mom was like, you're going to play football.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mo Brown, if he and I like the demon thing because this is a guy too that's just a pain in the butt on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe take the easy way out and say, no, I'm not. I'm going to take the hard way out. And something I thought about the other day, because I watched that film and Sean Elliott talked about him kind of being out of control on offense a little bit. I'm like, I bet this dude could rush the passer. I've not, and you could teach him some moves and technique because he can't just bull rush. You got to have hand violence and all that. But I bet if you fine tuned him a little bit, he would be relentless coming after that. So I would say edge for him. Sequel, that's easy. Corner.
Yeah.
Darius Gray, 3 technique defensive tackle or fullback. Fred Johnson, I'd probably put him on the edge. Neff Jiwa, tight end. Hey, Kendall Browse once at Baylor, they trotted out a 400-pound, 6'8", 400-pound tight end.
Yeah. Well, wait, was that not the kid? Or no, wait a second. Didn't Seth Smith play some tight end at Baylor too? Who's on staff here?
Jason Smith, you mean?
I mean, Seth Smith.
He may have.
Jason Smith?
They did that sometimes under Art Browse. They did that sometimes.
Yeah.
Julian Walker, offensive tackle. Vakari Swain, to me, obviously receiver.
Receiver.
Yeah, that's easy. We talked about Lenoris. Dylan Stewart. I would say outside linebacker, but that's pretty easy because essentially what he plays now.
Right. Yeah.
Dylan.
It's tough.
Maybe a tight end.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how good his hands are. I don't think he needs to. He's just an edge rusher.
He is like cut out of the mold.
Sometimes you're just one of one. It's all right.
Exactly. It's okay. That's the only one that I'm like, you know what? I'm not moving that guy.
No.
Everybody. There's still a cluster of people out there that want Nick Harbor to be an edge, and I think that's plausible. But I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna go back in time when they first had him in camp. You know, position he worked out as a safety.
Ooh,
Nick at safety. I don't know if his hips are good enough but safety is different than corner. They had Nick Emanwari and Nick Harbor on back-to-back days.
Yeah.
At camp. So
crazy.
Because I got this call about this freak from Irmo, and the next day it's like, freaky. And I was like, the kid from Irmo's back? And they're like, no, this is a totally different dude. I've never seen anything like him.
Oh, this is Rick Jackson.
When Kendall Browse the other day said, I've never seen anything like Nick Harbor, that kind of is another little hint that things are, I mean, you got a guy like Browse. He's seen a lot of offensive football players, a lot of great ones.
And he knows what to do with it. I mean, that's been this is all hogwash until you see it, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, fair enough. There ain't a soul on earth that I blame for wanting to exude pessimism until they see something that's better. I got it, and totally understandable. But I'm okay as we prepare for the season around here, giving a little credence and credit to the fact that Kendall Browse is the guy who can look at a player and say, I know exactly what to do with him. You know what I mean?
That's how they want it, Baylor, man. I mean,
right.
they take all kinds of guys and and there's talent maximization that takes place in the development process, but in the deployment process as well, that happens. Because the way you use guys. I mean, man, he did that 2 years ago at TCU.
Yeah.
Savion Williams. He's the best receiver. I think he plays for the Packers now. I think that's his name. It's they couldn't run the ball. They're like, we're moving to running back. Problem solved. Like Steve Spurrier did with Savell Newton that time. That thing bothers me every day. I was at that game. You know, Carolina's running backs that year, first year Spurrier, were Bobby Wallace and the first Mike Davis and Dacus Turman, who was banged up.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
they couldn't run it at all.
Oh, that's enough out of you. I love Bobby. Bobby, that was my buddy.
It wasn't because of Bobby Wallace. They started Brooke Antonio on the offensive line, who, by the way, until Spencer Rattler started at quarterback, was the last dude from Arizona that had started a game there. They found Freddie St. Pro started starting toward the end because John Hunt would always not end up with the same old line. They got better, but that Vanderbilt game, they played Jay Cutler and Vandy, and that Vandy team actually competed against the Gamecocks. And they moved Newton to running back, and Newton played running back, quarterback, and receiver all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the wheels spinning for Spurrier. Newton went off, Carolina won, and then he blew out his Achilles at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Carolina went on to win however many games, but man, that was so disappointing. And Savell came back the next year and played well and played a bunch of positions again, but that's the kind of thing Kendall Browse does. He's not Steve Spurrier in many ways. They're very different. but because Kendall will just run it all day if he doesn't care. Spurrier didn't really like to run it all day, but
yeah.
As far as creative use of personnel, you wrote the other day, different formations.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice South Carolina's offense did not really, when you're just looking at it, under Spurrier, it didn't look the same week to week.
Yeah,
like how they lined up the form, because he had they had the plays down. So during practice, what they do is just adjust the formations. Here's what we're going to do this week. This is what we're going to do. This motion. Same play though.
Right.
That's so much easier to do.
Well, there's been so much conversation about Sequel Patterson now kind of being in the mix with the wide receivers, and you sit there, you rack your brain. How are they going to play all these guys? Who is it? Who's next behind Harbor or alongside Harbor? However you want to word it. I think the better question to be asked is how are they utilized? Because again, as it was brought to my attention, it's not like it's rare for Kendall Briles to send 5 wideouts on the field. That's not going to be all the time, but they will do it. And it doesn't mean that they're all playing wide receiver either. So you all of a sudden there's Patterson lined up in the backfield alongside Lenore Sellers or Donovan Murphy, whoever. I'm certainly speculating on all of that, but he finds ways to get the football in the hands of guys who know how to make plays. I mean, it seems kind of simple, doesn't it? I mean, if you're in a tight baseball game, who do you go to? You go to your closer. Why? Because he knows how to close games. I mean, it's you need someone to hit a shot. You go to your best shot maker in basketball generally, don't you? Don't you try to draw a play up to get the ball in his hands? Isn't that how these guys named like Michael Jordan and others kind of got popular? So in football, and we've seen it, y'all were talking about Alshon earlier. I mean, Garcia, who's one of my dear friends, has said a gazillion times in his life, I didn't really care if they put the whole defense on Alshon. I was going to throw the football to him.
And it worked.
Because I knew that he had as good of a chance to catch it and extend the drive or score or whatever as anybody. Blake did the same thing with Sydney. I don't know. Sydney's down there somewhere. I'm just going to throw the ball to him. He'll probably catch it, and he did.
God.
So Lenore's will figure out who that is. Maybe it's Harbor, whatever. But Kendall will be also putting his best players in position to make plays. And we just really honestly haven't had, starting with the quarterback, but we honestly just haven't had enough of that under Coach Beamer.
Yeah, and just to kind of wrap it up, defensive coordinators, it's almost a checklist. All right, they go into a game. What do we have to stop? What can we live with? What do we have to stop? You can't stop everything all the time. And sometimes you have to gamble a little bit to get them off the field. Ellis Johnson talked about that. Teams kind of rolling up and down the field on you. You're going to have to gamble to get them off. And he did, and he was successful doing it. But the thing an offense has to do is take advantage of when they gamble. Well, the gamble, the wager becomes much higher when you're having to worry about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so they're going fast. Okay. And that's fine. Lots of teams go fast, folks. Lots of teams go fast. Lots of teams have gone fast and then slowed it down or whatever. But you're sitting there fundamentally, the more answers you have or the more potential answers you have, okay, well, we got a freaky Nick Harbor. Well, now we got these running backs that are pretty good. The line blocks, it holds up okay. We got a 230-pound quarterback that if you miss him in the backfield, he's probably going to at least get a first down or be gone. And you can't really tackle him one-on-one. Mm-hmm. So you gotta kind of figure that out. Oh, by the way, you got this guy. You got a Donovan Murphy or a Nitro Tuggle or a Sequel Patterson or Pup Sellers in the slot. Oh yeah, the other guy on the other side, that receiver, he's about a 4.3 guy. That used to be a walk-on, DJ Black. I know. By the way, there's Jaden Gibson. We haven't talked about him. And then, oh, by the way, I think Brady Hunt's going to be really good in this offense too.
Yeah,
Like you watch TCU and just as far as being a solid option, crossing routes, Brady's got good hands. I think Beamer was talking him up over the summer. So the more it's just practice and they have to execute and all that. But when you're talking about are they going to be tricky to stop, the more options that develop in practice that you can deploy in a game, in a creative, aggressive, and fun manner, creative, and fun manner, the harder your offense is to stop, and that's good.
Aggressive, creative, and fun. Where have we heard that before, Phil?
Oh yeah, that's the mantra.
Someone came up with that.
That's right.
Hey, I saw Darren Usher in an article that by Adam Gorney from Rivals thought about D-line heaven. He claimed it for his own, though.
Darren?
He said, I call it D-line.
I call it D-line.
It's fine. Darren's one of the few people that can borrow things.
Well, we're supposed to get Darren before the season, too.
That'll be a great conversation. He deserves a lot of credit for this.
I think when we get him on, though, let's hold his feet to the fire. I don't mind doing that.
It might be a little easier. He's not the biggest of dudes.
No, you just let him.
Figured.
This is our world now, Grandma.
By the way, you dropped a Sly Tommy Boy reference earlier. I was going to talk to you about it.
I did?
Yes, you said he's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Remember that? You just said it. I was like, that's a Tommy Boy reference. Good job.
He's just a little guy. Where is I don't know. I got more notes around here. I did all the, this was months ago, if y'all remember. I did all the homework on the percentage of touchdown receptions and receptions by tight ends in Kendall Briles' offense.
Yeah.
It really increased after Baylor. Art didn't throw the football to tight ends very often.
No, that era too was all about 5 wide too. I mean, they ran a lot of 5 wide, 4 wide sets. Pardon me. You didn't have a lot of. I mean, that's the air raid stuff. Mike Leach didn't throw it to the tight end either. Nowadays, as you evolve, those guys, and I think as the pro game has evolved, this is one thing you do take from the NFL: the types of tight ends you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but anyway, there's a lot of options.
I don't know where it went. It's somewhere around here. I promise you. I got it. I'll have to go through.
It was like 17% at some point.
It was. That's the average.
I mean, he used Trey Knox. Before Trey Knox came to South Carolina, Kendall dialed up a lot of stuff for him at Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was part of the reason why Trey Knox was a guy that a lot of people wanted in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't know. I'll have to do all this later on when I'm not sitting in front of a camera and just ignoring everybody here. All right. Well, so that's that. Reminder, we will have Coach Beamer next Monday. So still kind of working out the exact plan as to some of that stuff, but we'll have him next week. So put that on your Carolina calendar, if you will. What are y'all going to talk about for the next 55 minutes?
Mayor McCheese. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, so
really
you need to give that all the attention it deserves.
It's wide open Wednesday, bro.
Oh,
we're gonna be wide open.
Yeah,
I think we should. Phil, what we should do? We shoot that Creed song to open up. Wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Creed.
Before I saw Guns N' Roses, the last concert I've been to, and I enjoyed that. Creed's got so many hits, dude, that like in the early 2000s, you just come on the radio. Some of us probably didn't even know it was Creed. A lot of bands sounded like Creed back then.
Yeah.
But but then you look back on it, you're like, man, that's pretty sweet.
Man, I got to say that the 90s rock playlist generated by Apple Music is pretty legit, dude.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good music in the 90s, dude.
So great. I mean, obviously, y'all know what I'm generally listening to. which is the greatest playlist ever created. That's the name of it. The greatest playlist ever created.
I literally, every time I add something to a playlist or create a playlist on iTunes now, I think about the greatest playlist ever created.
Yeah.
Bradford's voice comes in my head.
Yeah. But a good alternative to that, no pun intended, is the 90s.
Dumb as you are, man.
I forgot how great some of those guys are. You know, you actually have taken some of that and added it into the greatest playlist ever created. So you'll get you'll go from Chief to Tracy Lawrence to Shinedown. People are like, wait, Shinedown,
pretty good.
Nirvana,
like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that Nirvana? Yeah. After Toby Keith? Yeah.
See, the curation is where it's at. That's what determines whether or not the playlist actually is the greatest playlist ever created.
Yeah. Gin Blossoms, they're fantastic. Yeah.
All right. I like the Gin Blossoms. The only thing, why the tambourine, dude?
Well, you just, why not?
It kept me from being a bigger Gin Blossoms fan than for admitting that I was a bigger that I would downplay my fandom of them because of the little tambourine and dancing around. It was just, I'd be like, oh, nah, Toad the Wet Sprocket or something like that. Yeah, they're better. And I lied. I hate Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Really?
I mean, I don't hate them. I just, Duran Duran, Toad the Wet Sprocket, Depeche Mode. Those are just not, I mean, I'll listen to it. My wife loves Depeche Mode, so I'm going to have to go. She gets to pick the concert next. So,
okay.
Yeah. It's probably, hopefully it's Taylor Swift because I can live with that. I can live with the Taylor Swift.
There's a lot, Blink 182.
Refinance my house.
Third Eye Blind.
Sucks. No, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Every song goes, if you listen to the music, it's either a slowed down or sped up version of do, 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 do. Think about it. Think about it.
Semi-Charmed Life?
Wish you.
Semi-Charmed Life.
So, yeah. So every song's like that. It's like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the whole thing. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. And then I wish you could let's step back from that ledge, my friend. do, 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 do. It's the same song. Same song. Right. It is blind. It's the third. There is no third. It's one eye blind. It's one. It's a one eye.
Yeah.
How about
deaf ear? Is what?
Do you like the Stone Temple Pilots?
Yes.
No. But that's completely irrational.
Smelling like a rose.
No, I did not. I don't know why. Radio killed.
I like Pearl Jam better.
90s.
I like Pearl Jam better.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, there's a Bush.
Yes. The one album. I mean, they're the Slaughter of 90s rock. Okay.
Throwing Copper was so good. They're still relative.
Well, that's live. Throwing
live.
No, Bush is 16 Stone.
16 Stone. Yeah, that's what I got.
Now, I saw live open for Counting Crows in Atlanta about 10 years ago. They're still badass. Like they still the same emotional hard rock. But that first Bush album was unbelievable. From the start to the finish, like everything's in, and then it just rocks your face off till Alien at the end.
Yeah.
Glycerine's right before it, and then you got the big finale, dude. That was great. And Gavin Rossdale's had some good stuff here and there since, but it's like Slaughter back in the day in hairband era. Slaughter Stick It To You was a great album. The rest of it, not so much. Even Warrant had Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich, and then followed it up with Cherry Pie, a pretty good next album. Right. Pearl, so I even think Pearl Jam had 2 albums and that was it. Vitology had 2 good songs. They've had some things ever since, but Pearl Jam was Go the first album. 10's the first album, and then Versus was really, really good too. The rest, yeah.
Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Do y'all remember who sang that?
The presidents of the
United States of America.
Yeah.
Well, my brother loved them because
what a band name.
My brother talks like Beavis, and he's like, he loved Weezer. My brother was a big Weezer guy. And he's like, hey, dude, listen to this band. It's called the President of the United States of America. I mean, like, he's a pilot now. So I said, if ever get on a plane, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I'm like, I got to get off. Let me off.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, dude. What's up?
Well, on that note, then, you know how movies, and I'll get out of here, sometimes we'll put out, you know, an album, like a music, you know, whatever played in that movie. The American Pie musical, the album of all the music that played in American Pie soundtrack. There we go. American Pie soundtrack. When it comes to 90s music, very undefeated. Because American Pie is undefeated. Like, you cannot beat American Pie. And every time I listen to that, I feel like I'm a teenager again. I feel like I'm in high school. So
that's awesome, Jamie.
That's JB, Uncle JB's advice for the day.
Sweet.
All right. Well, good news. I'll have more tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll see you then.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home, and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were, being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
Clowns are people too. Clowns are people too. Now I own some tiny horns and got me those red shoes. I don't know much, but know one thing that's true. If you don't know anything, just know that clowns are people too.
Now back to the clowns on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Here we are. I am Phil Mad Dog Mullinax. He is JC Sherbert. It is Wide Open Wednesday, and glad to see everything's all right on your end, JC. Nothing too crazy happened yesterday, but welcome back, man. We're happy to have you here.
It was a crazy day, and I was sitting there, I was going to be a little late for the show because I had something I had to deal with that popped up at like 4 minutes till showtime. It was going to take me 10 minutes. All of a sudden, my phone goes off, and it's an alert. It's a tornado warning, not a watch. A watch, I wouldn't have cared. Warning for an hour. Like it was 10:15 my time, and it was till 11:15. So I was like, okay. So I got the turtle inside, took the dog down to the basement. Then it got really dark, and then the power went out.
Yeah, those videos where everything is like pitch black. Dude, this is eerie,
like,
dude.
Yeah. It's a little scary. My mother-in-law's power finally came back on this morning.
Nice.
Mine came on last night, but the Studio North, I had to go. It fried. I keep having to get these plugs for my computer. It fried the plug because I went to plug back in because I had to move my desk and everything to get to the power outlet that works. So I'm adjacent to another room. I got a cord running in there. I had a pretty nice surge compressor for all this stuff, and I plugged it in. Started sparking and smoking, and I was like, oh my God. So I had to get rid of that. So no coffee this morning, by the way, and I apologize for that. I hate to not be consistent with it, but I'll make it up with a bonus pod at some point. Be back tomorrow. But yeah, all's well. And I guess today's thunderstorm. What thunder? I mean, maybe my southern butt just doesn't get it. How the heck severe thunderstorm come rolling through it at 10 a.m.?
That's odd.
It's weird.
It really is.
Weird.
It's like
10 a.m.
I mean, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock around here, you're like, oh, it's about time for rain.
Yeah. It sounds like afternoon. All right, so it's Wide Open Wednesday. We're a little late getting started with the show portion. So, dude, we're just going to jump in the chat box.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Dive in. Ethan, a regular chat boxer on Wednesdays. Speaking of the Titanic, that A&M game felt like we hit an iceberg. That one didn't bother me. What that game did was snatch every last bit of hope that I had from my body.
Right.
Because had they won that one and then beaten Coastal the next week, then you're playing Clemson to go to a bowl. You could salvage the season. The one that bothered me the most outside of Vanderbilt for a number of reasons was Alabama. Because you beat Alabama. Alabama won they had a lot more quality wins than anybody last year. They were not a flawless team. You hold on and win that one. Everybody tears down the goalpost or whatever. Okay. Well, okay, they're back. It's not as bad. This team is capable. They just screwed around, whatever. And they had it. And they lost it. And you got to give Alabama credit. Ty Simpson, winner,
right.
Driving them down the field like that to tie the game. Great play calling. The fumble, it's on Carolina. It's on Carolina. But that one's what got me where I was just like, this season's not going to be good. And Ethan goes on to say that A&M game felt like we hit an iceberg, and the police officer was actually Billy Zane. If I were casting that A&M cop in a movie, I'd probably not Billy Zane now.
No, yeah.
Billy Zane played Marlon Brando in this movie. The movie recently was really, or miniseries or something. It was really good. But yeah, that's who I would do it. Michael says Nolan thinks Darius Gray is going to be a star. Yeah, a lot of people do. It's almost like you hate to hype a guy like that after 4 days, but it can't. We got it from inside on the Big Spur and the Insiders Forum. I dropped a little nugget the other day, and then everybody's talking about it all of a sudden. Cockweed says the only guy that laid hands on Nick in that play at A&M was Walker, Texas Ranger. Don't insult Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, Chuck Norris, they could have messed him up. That guy wasn't going to do nothing.
Chaco mentioned Xavier Legette took a while to get going. That game-winning catch against Vanderbilt did it for him. Yeah, and then the 7-catch game, the game he had against Notre Dame in the Gator Bowl too. Because in 2022, Carolina had a lot of older good receivers. I mean, Jalen Brooks, Josh Vann, Juice Wells. X was in there. I mean, I started noticing in 2022, Phil, Xavier would catch, like he'd have one ridiculous catch like a day, like a game. And you go, wow, even when the offense was struggling. Krager says Julio Jones is one of the artist workers as well in college. Yeah, him and AJ Green were something else. Luke says, interesting to see tight end Mo Brown is on JB's freaks list too. And Luke had asked earlier if there's a Josh Simon on this team. Yeah, Mo. Now his position is listed on the freaks list as demon for special teams. He's the third team tight end. Is there a Josh Simon? I don't know. I don't know that Josh Simon was really good.
Yeah, he real. Mm-hmm.
Could Brady Hunt be really good in his own way? Yeah. Does Mike Tyler have a skill set that could get that? Yeah. But there's going to be more receivers on the field, more receivers getting touches too. And this was, keep that in mind. I think with some of these condensed formation offenses, the tight end is probably a little more important than here. Ethan says with some guys it clicks immediately. Some guys need time to develop. Absolutely. Ethan says Beamer doesn't have any more time for development. It all has to click this year. Yeah, but that's a team. That's not individuals. Doc says coaching stability plays a factor as well. The system has been changing often. Yeah, Doc, with this one too, though, the system had to change. Had to. But it has. And I think that threw them off last year. I think if Dowell Loggins had returned as the OC, and they just kind of kept doing what they were doing and mastered it a little bit, probably would have been a little bit different outcome on offense. I don't know that team gets to 7 or 8 wins. I'll say it because of what everybody else did, which is important. But we'll see. USC Campy, good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, sir. Mac Lee Green. Then when the DB rolls to double Nick, then there's one of those other good receivers we have, weapons. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, options.
Yeah.
I think that's what fall camp or preseason camp, is not necessarily to determine. Like when you hear a report from us about preseason camp, we don't know, and nobody knows, not even the coaches, like how that's going to turn out in the games. Like that doesn't. If you hear like a bunch of guys are doing well. Yeah, they're doing well in practice. So games are a different thing. But what it is doing is setting the table, so to speak. Like you're not eating the meal. You're setting the table. And sometimes, man, if you don't set the table, you're not going to have a good meal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't have the good ingredients. And, I think that when you look at it, what you're wanting to do is find place settings. You want to have that complete play. That's what you want to do. And the more of those you have, the good teams that in the past that I've seen, both at South Carolina and elsewhere, have different options. Some good teams at South Carolina, though, have not had. I mean, they've had a few guys. I don't know what's going to happen this year. And chances are, every single player that creates some practice buzz will not take it to the games. And you like with the receivers, there's 14 guys and you like them all, right? They're all motivated. I think though, realistically, no matter who they are, if they can find 4 or 5 that can go out there and give you production every single time and make plays every single time, that's a win, and with a deep room like that full of good recruits, you're going to have some reaction. That's like, well, why? And this guy is good. This guy just must not be that good. Well, maybe not, but that's just kind of how it happens.
Yeah, it's the assumption is it was like, well, he's not playing well. It was like, well, I mean, he might be playing really well. It might be doing better than he was last year, but the guy that you're seeing on the field is playing better than even that.
Yeah. Ethan says if Harbor can perfect his route running, it would be a top 10 pick. Yeah, it's a work in progress. I don't know. I was talking to somebody on the Insiders Forum, and they said, well, he needs to expand his route tree and be able to do this. And he listed all these things. I said, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him being like, a master of route running, like Jerry Rice or Michael Irvin.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think he can add to it. Right. He's just not, here's what I don't think he is. He's not like some of the name receivers you've seen here through the years. Like you can throw Sidney, Alshon, whoever. You can do anything you want with those guys. Brian Edwards. I don't know that. I think there are certain things that maybe are not strengths of Nick's, but then there's certain things where he's elite. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Michael says Shula worked the whole offensive season on the first drive, then had no clue what to do next. Yeah, I think too, that's an NFL thing, opening scripted is beautiful. And then after that, it's like, well, let's just wait till the third quarter when we can trick them again. Mike Morgan was at the Braves game last night. Yes, he was. So, Cockweed, y'all need to work in a even taggers to the next ad you cut. Yeah, I found it's on the Big Spur at the Big Spur on 3X account and the Inside the Gamecocks Facebook account. I found the Brad Scott candy ketchup. And I've been saying this ain't no candy ketchup. He doesn't say that. I had the line wrong. This isn't some or something like that. This isn't some candy ketchup. It's good on eggs. Eggs. I was like, I don't know that I come out the chute with ketchup on my eggs. I know some people like it.
I'd start with fries is probably where.
Then he went hot dogs second, and then burgers. Right. Even tigers. Wow.
Right. There's two things on that list that I just refuse to put ketchup on, period.
It's illegal to put ketchup on a hot dog in Chicago.
As it should be.
They'll fine you.
As it should be.
Oh, Ethan says, I think Judge Collier is due for a big year. He's interesting. He's talking to the media today. His year last year obviously did not go as well as he wanted to. The secondary was fine because Brandon Cisse ended up being a stud and Swain played really well. But he's a lot like, he's not like George Wilson in the sense that, I think George was probably going to be a situational pass rusher last year, and that's probably what he's going to be this year.
Right.
The Judge was supposed to be a starter and a stud because he started in 24 and was more than solid for a first-year starter. So if he can kind of approach the expectations he had heading into last year, he could be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Men's basketball. Woo, shoot, buddy. I was on the game thread.
I know. I saw that. I was reading some of those. Yeah.
And Matt had a conference all week. He'll be back. I think Juan Fernandez on the men's basketball team can be really good. He looks like an NBA player, just needs to play his game. He and the other guy, Hugo Lopez. So Hugo Lopez, from what everybody says, is like a high energy. All right. So Hugo Lopez, I expected to play a lot like Nakos. Was that his name? Nakos?
Mm-hmm.
Jakob Nakos.
That's what maybe it's Nakos.
The Duquesne transfer.
Yeah, from Duquesne.
So that guy gets after it. Like he gets after it. And Alexis Balaneskis. Velasquez. Oh, it's Belanaskis. Alexis Belanaskis.
I think you're putting an N in there that doesn't exist. Hold on.
Beliaskis.
Yeah.
Alexis Beliaskis. AB. That dude's a competitor. That guy, he's out there talking smack. He makes a bad play and he does this, that, and the other. I kind of expected Hugo Lopez to be that guy. And then I expected like high energy, almost and it just looked like Fernandez and Lopez maybe just had dead legs to me. Both games. Which is a good thing if you're a Carolina fan, because chances are they're not going to play that they won't be that way once it gets serious. It's an exhibition, and I don't. The announcers were talking too about Lamont Paris, and they were like, "Well, he's doing a little different than Calipari or McMillan because A&M and Arkansas were there. Those guys kind of treat it like a game, and he's like, Lamont's just substituting liberally, and he was. It was like ASO soccer,
right? Yeah."
Blake says when Shula lined up at 22 personnel with Mo Brown in the backfield, I thought we were going to win a natty. Yeah, me and Phil did too.
Yeah.
Biajak said Noah Clark could play offensive line. He was offered P5 offers as an O-line. Yeah, I didn't want to insult him and move him to the offensive line as a fullback.
Yeah, right.
But he could play
just because he's big. Yeah, right.
V. Jack says Tristan Lewis, Cosby Barnes could play receiver. Absolutely, they could.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Kendall Daniels, Blake said. Eric Reese says played against Zach Pickens in high school. Hannah played him at running back, and he was so fast. Yeah. Zach. Yeah, third round pick. Got drafted by the Bears. Obviously, good player. Could he have been did he maybe have a higher ceiling than that? Yeah, he's a 5-star guy. I don't know that he. So what, third round would be a top 75 player in the country,
right?
Projection wise. Ethan says Fuller could play safety. Yeah, or a linebacker. So we were talking about who could play other positions. Cam says Neff Giwa was brought in to toss Matt Fuller over the line of scrimmage. You may have to get Lex Cyrus to toss him or something. I don't know. Who's a littler guy?
Yeah.
Colin says Joyner and the Wildcat was nightmare fuel. Yeah, they maybe should have done it all year, though. Let him throw like they did in the bowl.
Right.
Luke says, I'm all for letting Lenore Sellers getting all the touchdown stats when using the tush push. He's big enough and strong enough to run that play himself. Sellers needs those stats. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kendall Briles, if you're
center exchange, that scares me.
Yeah,
it's not his thing.
Oh, I thought it's like heck. They snapped it to Brady Hunt last year. That thing, I can see that thing coming back.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Josh Hoover's stats, he's not a runner at all, cement shoe guy.
Mm-hmm.
But every year he had like between 4 and 6 rushing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, at TCU. Because and what does that tell me? It tells me Briles likes to run the quarterback in the red zone.
That's right.
Which I think is smart.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a guy like that, I mean, you don't want to have to tackle Lenora Sellers near the goal line.
No,
I mean, you can't just run him up the middle.
Right. Yeah. If he's running around the edge, that's not, there will be business decisions made that day.
Yeah. Bruin says, just when we're destined to go 16-0, y'all remind us that we're going to do some dumb stuff and lose 5 games. Thanks, guys.
Just tempering expectations, Bruin. Just tempering expectations.
Morgan says, do we leave Sellers in to pad the stats this year or let Cutter get some run? Well, they're not going to leave him in to pad the stats. He's too valuable.
Yeah, you're hoping his effectiveness in the first half is enough to pad the stats enough to get the national attention.
Yeah, usually, man, if you're like up a lot at halftime, your starter will go out there for the first series and then you empty the bench.
See how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think ideally Cutter Woods plays a lot the first 2 games and Landon Duckworth and Lucian Anderson.
Yeah, something tells me they'll handle that doing and you get a drive and you get a drive. And handing out drives like Oprah.
Yeah, no doubt. Deputy Smitty, he'll join us tomorrow, by the way.
That's right.
We have big leads. We must get Cutter in. I want to see Cutter in the game, second possession of the first game when we're up 31. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there, brother. And he's had a good. They're excited. Kendall Briles likes him a lot. So, Ghost Flame says he doesn't mind a Wildcat package. Just throw the damn ball some so that he has to be honest.
Yeah.
Then he says Neff at tight end or fullback with a brief delay and a jump pass from Lenore Sellers for the touchdown. I don't know, man. Listening to Shane Beamer talk about him playing special teams,
my gut told me, I'm like, dude, he knows more than that. We are playing this up here. This is Beamer playing this up. I get it. He has 0 experience on a football field, but he knows what a kickoff is. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't call my man out like that on his intelligence. He knows what
No doubt. All right, so it's 12:34. We got 26 minutes to go here on a Wide Open Wednesday on Inside the Gamecocks, the show. T. Farr is back. He's back in Club Chief. Welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Quantrell does mention Sequel Patterson could play a corner and be elite. Agreed.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will encourage everybody to go to Gamecock Traditions, GamecockTraditions.com. Lots of the Nike stuff. Today's the day to give the deal at D's Wings as well. 18
That's
wings,
right.
picture of beer, $29. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends at 5 Point Social. Their grand opening is this weekend in 5 Points. It's the old Cotton Gin. When me and Phil were younger men, it was the Knock Knock Club.
Knock.
But it's nice. You know some of the people involved with that. They're all some of my dear friends. But they also do stuff like this, like nobody else, like no other. And it's right there in 5 Points. It's the sign, the 5 Point sign. They're going to do a lot with that. And so I'm just super excited for those guys. And Go follow them on social media, 5 Point Social. It's the number 5 and then Point Social. They got merch. Looks pretty fly. I'm going to order some. And we encourage everybody to check them out. They're also gigantic Gamecock fans. So huge. This is a Gamecock, definitely a Gamecock owned and operated business. And just wish them the best. Wish I could get down there for that. I think JB's going. All right, Inside the Gamecocks, the show on a Wide Open Wednesday continues after this.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
The road to success, well, it isn't always a straight one. I tell my kids every day before dropping them off at school, don't take this for granted. Tuition assistance from the South Carolina Education Lottery helped me go back to school when I needed to make a change. And I'm so grateful because now I am where I'm supposed to be.
Better opportunities means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you.
Now is the time. Finish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution. Beautiful like new floors in just one day. Hardwood, vinyl, laminate, concrete, tile floors. Any floor. We can do it. No dust, affordable, and 5 stars. Give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365. Or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit protectwithbear.com to find out more. protectwithbear.com.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
If you have experienced water damage, storm damage, fire or smoke damage, or need mold remediation, you need Resto Pros of the Midlands. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com and go Gamecocks.
Subscribe to FourQuarterFriday.com for just $1. High school sports coverage in South Carolina. Part of Rivals and on 3.
Welcome back, everybody, inside the Gamecocks, the show. Wide Open Wednesday. We are rolling through the chat box. JC Sherbert, Phil, Mad Dog Mullinax in here with you on the show. I was just sitting here looking here, JC. It was something that is funny, but my goodness, y'all are pounding away on those keyboards. Appreciate that in the chat box because I'm getting it's so long.
Oh my God! All right, so let's rapid fire. Right, we got 20 minutes. Camels play Harbor at edge. I don't think he has the defensive mentality to do it. And I don't agree with people that say that that's what he should have played, because they said the same thing about Jarrell Adams. And I thought Jarrell Adams had a much higher skill set there than at tight end. But if you don't have the mentality, you know, Ethan wants to play David Busey at receiver. I could see that. But yeah, athletically, Cam, though, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong. He was a good edge in high school. Just so was Jarrell. I don't know. Bakari Swain reminded him of Bryce Thompson out of Dutch Fork. Yeah. Bryce was very talented. Very talented guy. Bruin said that's been a big thing on X the last few days about Harbor, claiming he hadn't gotten any better since he was a freshman and has been under development, when the stats literally show that's a lie. Your eyes can show that it's a lie. I know, and I know one guy, the guy that kind of went after Deputy Smitty about the Kirby Smart thing. I know he was like running his holster about that, you know. But I mean, I don't see how you can say no. And look,
it's
okay.
not his natural position coming into
it's
college.
Okay to be wrong about this too, if you're out there, because nobody explains it well, and I understand.
Right.
If you think that the definition of a 5-star player is a guy that's going to play in the first year, then you don't really know the definition of a 5-star prospect. Okay. Most of them do. Many of them don't. But a bunch of them that don't end up being really good and getting it's a long-term projection. That's why I think we need an impact rating. Like, and I use the Jamie Robinson versus Cam Smith thing all the time. Cam Smith much higher rated. Jamie Robinson a little lower rated. Robinson's floor was higher, ergo he got to play as a true freshman. Cam didn't. But who was drafted higher? At the end, it was Cam Smith. And there's bunches of examples like that. I think this school signed so few 5-stars though that it's like, and all of them have been pretty good for, right. You know, some careers have been derailed for one reason or another, but I think that's the expectation. The guy at KSR calls Harbor a DN. Well, you know, when you don't throw the ball but 14 times, I mean, those guys, yeah, they're not fans of South Carolina. Deputy Smitty said, didn't Muschamp put AJ Turner on defense? Yeah, I was actually thinking about that the other day, Smitty. Like, because AJ he moved to corner and then did not play.
Right.
And Muschamp was asked about it at the end. He gave a pretty diplomatic answer. Yes, his last year did not go as well as he had hoped. So Cam says mechanically, it just seems like it's hard for Harbor to stop on a dime and make quick in and out cuts at his size. You'd love to see him use his bodies more against DBs as if he were boxed out. Yeah, he's just not that type of guy. You know, you can be effective. I mean, you're just like what I was saying earlier, Cam, about he's much more like this other guy, like Troy Williamson, than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, that's the difference between me saying, "Okay, throw it up there, Nick's down there somewhere," you know, for Lenore,
yeah, or let's make sure he's open.
Let's throw it up to, you know, Alshon. He's down there somewhere. It's because Nick's gonna be wide open down the field if all he's doing is running. And you know, the difference between Alshon and Sydney is those are prototypical high point the ball wide receivers who will snatch them out of DB's hands if it's a 50-50. Like, that's just not Nick's game right now. That's one of the things that we're hoping he develops into, right, over this offseason, JC. I mean, that's what you kind of want to see in the progression for Harbor, is developing more of that natural hands, routes, you know, but nobody's expecting him to turn into Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice over.
No, I mean, it's get him all in space. There's guys that can do, I mean, you know, NFL-wise, there's guys that can do that. There are a lot of great receivers that have that skill set, but then there's others that, you know, they have other strengths.
Right.
Deputy Smitty chimes in. Steven said it's a real thing when he was in trouble. Garcia, F it. Josh, I'm down there somewhere. I'll throw it in his direction. Yeah. Very special. That's a great play. That's a great play.
It worked a lot more than it didn't.
Ethan said Harbor is no Alshon. No, they're completely different receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They're just both big. It's like when people compare KJ Jefferson to Lenore Sellers. The only similarities is they're both big.
They're large. Right.
Yeah. They're both big. Big. Deputy Smitty, I didn't realize how big Isaiah Augustov was. He looked huge at practice. He is a big old guy.
Yeah.
And look, there's been some talk about him behind the scenes too. You can't mention everybody. And I'm a Jawarn Howell homer, and so but no, August, don't, there's so many options. Krager tells Smitty to stop trying to type like Kirby Smart.
Stop trying to type like Kirby Smart.
Oh, man.
What's he using? Just his index fingers?
Krager said, people are such Richard heads. Richard, he's a Richard with cheese or a Richard sandwich. My friend Keith Allsup and I used to joke. He's a Richard with, the Cockfather. He's got that Southern drawl, right? He's a Richard with cheese. I'm a little low in my register to be him. I don't do a good Keith impersonation, but y'all know his voice. Scott Stapp is the man. Listened to Creed this morning. Ethan did. Yep. T-Far loves the gin blossoms. Yeah. Ghost Flame says it's Tornado Tuesday before Wide Open Wednesday. Too soon? Nah. I mean, look, man, we're all safe. There's no damage to the home. I thought this big tree was going to blow over on the truck. I was like,
dude,
great.
that tree was bending a little too far.
I know.
Right?
They don't have trees like that in South Carolina. It's like a big old Christmas tree, fir or something.
Yeah, and the trees that look like that fall over down here too.
Yeah. Wow. Deputy Smith saw Tracy Lawrence and Clay Walker in Spartanburg a few years back. Legends. Contrail not into the genre of 1990s music. But I overheard one of the co-workers trashing anybody that listens to Nickelback. Are they that bad? Is this how you remind me of who I really am? Oh, man. Ethan says Nickelback got hated on for no reason. No Nickelback slander. Cockwheat likes. Here's Krager's spelling. Krager's a music guy. He goes from David Allen Coe to Fish to Tool to Fiona Apple. Wow.
Respect. Yeah.
Respect. I think my wife has a playlist like that.
Good God Almighty, she does. She's very good. Cogway, Jim Blossom's Collective Soul and Wallflowers were all Rock Your Mom would say. I actually like this. Yeah, of those, Jim Blossom's Wallflowers played at down on Isle of Palm. Windjammer.
The Windjammer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Wallflower. I do some karaoke.
Yeah, they're all right. Whatever. Up to three of them, though. I think Collective Soul is probably my favorite.
What a big Collective Soul fan.
Well, of that trio.
Of that trio. T-Far says open mic night with JC would be great. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not that I would be great, but I just love to do it. Deputy Smitty's a concert junkie. I go to all of them I can. Bruno Mars is by far the best concert to go to. He's on another planet with his shows. Bruno Mars is a talented guy.
I bet that is a good show.
T-Far says Bread is a great band. Jeff says Stone Temple Pilots is a great 90s band. Lance says Alice in Chains. Oh, man. Bruin says JCO karaoke at the local Mexican restaurant would hit like crack. Man, I don't even need a Mexican restaurant.
So, yeah, that's right.
Co Wetzel will be in Columbia the night before the Mississippi State game. Going to be a great weekend. Deputy was in Chicago. Saw him in Chicago. Bruno Mars up here in May. It was so good. Went back for the second show.
Nice.
So that's good. Blah, blah, blah. Red Hot Chili Peppers is who Ethan likes. I'm trying to get to the football because we're running out of time. Somebody, it was Krager, says hookers and blow. I don't know what that means. Got to have bloody. All right, so Bloody Marys and a Cajun filet biscuit. I don't even know what that is. Oh, the noon game. Cameron's making deer sausage. That's good.
Hey, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I used to hate early games. And if I lived in Columbia or Spartanburg, I'd probably hate them too. Just because you got to rush to the stadium. I mean, Clemson was a noon game, but we were there, but we had to get up, rush in. I mean, it's like early and they get tired. However, now I like them.
That's right. Get it over.
Because I can get up. The watering hole has amazing breakfast. Right.
Oh.
And so we get up, Phil and I do the tailgate show. I wrap the week at that point work-wise.
Right.
Done. And I could just roll right there, watch a little game day, see there, and then you get it out of the way and have the rest of the day to chill. Now, that's here. So but I empathize with everyone else. Bruin hadn't done a noon game in 15 years. Bruin just like that dude he fired today. He's calling up griping about the noon games. T. Farr says, was talking with Ethan the other day, 3:30 to 4 kickoffs are my new favorite time. Yeah, Mississippi. I'm coming down from Mississippi State, and I'm glad it's in that time spot. Missouri game was almost perfect that we came to a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a good time.
T. Farr goes to breakfast at Lizard's Thicket, has enough time to get home, watch late night games. Yeah. Tristan says the government controls the weather. I wish they'd step in and stop the alien simulation at Costco. Ethan says, is Smiley going to be creative like Limbo or boring like Joe D on special teams? Actually, Joe D and Pete Limbo were the same. It worked 1 year under Limbo. Do people remember the 2023 special teams were nothing worked? That was Pete Limbo. You guys know that, don't you?
Yeah, that was when Kai, everybody's questioning whether Kai Kroger was a good punter or not.
But like, Carolina is
off here or whatever.
Carolina, it's not really this. If you're the special teams coordinator at South Carolina, unlike offense and defense, the head coach is going to encourage you very strongly to be aggressive. So it's just, I knew after that happened in 2022, that may be the best special team season any school has had in college football in 10 years. I mean, when is there ever a season where every trick play works?
It's you never see everything work.
Your punter snaps up how many game win streak over your right. I mean, the holder catches a touchdown against Notre Dame.
You're arguing against the Ray Guy Award voters.
Yeah, people are up in arms about those morons for the award.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What do you people don't watch football?
Unbelievable. But
Smiley's the biggest question mark for me in my mind on the staff. Like, I feel like we just don't know that much about him, but like you just said, there's certain things that kind of you have to come with.
Yeah. Only thing we've got from him is feedback from the NFL is, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I can't say either way about him. I know people speak highly of him, so it's good. Cocky Drew says, "Are y'all bringing back Gamecock graffiti when the season starts?" I hope so.
Yeah, sure. It might look a little different. I got some ideas on that, but yeah.
Krager said, "I'm the president of the Darius Gray fan club." My wife just sent me a text. She's chicken nuggets and applesauce for lunch, and she's like, "I need a milk carton, so I'll be a little kid."
A little half pint.
TD says, Clement said he hadn't seen a freshman as far advanced as Gray in a long time, and he's been doing it a long time. I think he pushes to start. Yeah, if he keeps it up. Now, sometimes freshmen will come out like gangbusters. They hit a lull when the pads come on and stuff. But he is advanced. I mean, when I talked about floor and ceiling earlier, Darius Gray is high floor. But he's still got a ceiling. There's still some development, but he's closer than most. Whereas like Neff Jiwa may end up being the top pick in the draft. Right. Like that's his ceiling. But his floor is like, this is a first down.
Yeah, that's right.
TD says, Krager, I'm in the Tristan Lewis fan club. All right. Game time depression. Is Matt Fuller RB1 at this point? Yeah, he was coming out of spring. I hadn't heard that's changed. That's I don't even think there's an at this point, but we'll see. I mean, there's good with all of them. TD Farr says 10-2, knock it down. Quantrill says Noah Clark is Dexter Lawrence 2.0. I have tried to avoid that because Dexter Lawrence is one of the greatest freshman, gigantic, deep. So Jordan Davis that played at Georgia, elite player, right? Jordan wasn't anything like Dexter Lawrence when he came out. Nothing. Because I remember watching Dexter, it was an early Clemson game. I think they were playing Auburn or somebody. I was like, so you mean to tell me that they got Christian Wilkins and then this dude? My gosh. And because Dexter Lawrence was just crazy. However, Quantrell, there are people in Durham that have, because I think Dexter was from Winston-Salem, so that kind of similar area, or at least part of North Carolina. The comparison's out there. Let's just say that. I'm just personally trying not to use it. TD Farr says, thoughts on Josh Pate having Sellers as the 7th best quarterback in the SEC. Were those SEC quarterback rankings or national quarterback rankings?
I think it was SEC. Hold on. Now, they showed one last year. Well, they put one up. Hold on, I got to look at that because I saw something that had Sellers on top, but I think that was just like a tease. Pate. Let's see. Yeah, Sellers is the 7th in the SEC. He's got Chambliss, Manning, Mateer, Stockton, Levitt. He literally has a no-name Alabama QB in there at number 6 and Lenora Sellers at 7. So this is obviously a hint of some trolling by Mr. Pate. But yeah, Alabama QB. That's great. That's cute, Josh.
Yeah. So I don't know what the criteria Josh was using.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the episode, so I'm not entirely sure what
it's okay.
Where his head's at. So we'll see.
I especially don't agree with the Alabama part of it. I mean, all right. So everybody go. So the quote was, that Kalen DeBoer will maximize it no matter what because he's done it his whole career. Have you gone and looked at anybody gone and looked at Alabama's depth chart?
I mean,
go look at it.
It's the biggest battle in the SEC for me at QB, right? Like,
I don't care about the QB. I really don't. I think that Phil, I honestly think that, and I'll have Phil put this in the chat box for everyone because there's a new site called Too Deep. It's pretty cool. It's like an Our Lads, but easier to use. I looked at it the other day and I'm like, no, that's the wrong. Hold on. Sorry. That's the wrong link. Hold on. Don't wait a minute, Phil.
Don't put that one in.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just, maybe I'm used to seeing like known studs in their depth chart, but I don't know. Like you got kids from California on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, going on. X-Men likes the Gin Blossoms. Why does Nickelback sell out tour after tour? Closet fans. I don't think everybody hates Nickelback. I think what Nickelback is, they're to a lot of people, they're like the Aerosmith of their time. Hear me out. There are no Aerosmith fans.
I was going to say every good song of theirs sounds like somebody else.
No.
Because that's how I feel about Aerosmith.
No. There are no Aerosmith. They're everyone's second or third favorite band. Like, have you ever met anybody that's like their favorite band is Aerosmith?
I only knew one person who would claim that, and that was my late stepmother. She was a huge Aerosmith fan. And
but was that her favorite? There was no Led Zeppelin. There was no.
It was literally her favorite. It was number one. It was number one, and she had really great taste in music, but that was like number one for her was Aerosmith. But now, to your point, only person I've ever met like that.
Yeah.
Period.
There's not a lot of Aerosmith, but they're everybody's second favorite band. It's like, hell yeah, Aerosmith. Nobody, I mean, it's awesome.
Not for me, because my whole thing with Aerosmith is every one of their good songs sounds like somebody else wrote it.
Bobby went to see Collective Soul with Hootie a couple years ago, said it was good. Deputy Smitty loves noon games on the road, home games, 3:30 or 7. I get it. Tri-State loves the late afternoon start when it's daylight first half, sunsets for the second half. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Quantrell wants to know why college doesn't adapt to the 1 and 4:15 schedule like the NFL, too many teams. Yeah, I don't know. Michael doesn't understand the fair catch kick. I don't have time to explain that to you. Because I don't really, I mean, I get it, but I'd have to go through it. But we'll just ask us again sometime, man. It's not that I don't think I'm capable of explaining it to you quickly. So, Mike Shula calling plays was the coach on Waterboy. He takes the left, fakes the right. No, he pretends to fake. Luke says the West Coast games at 10 and 15 p.m. Probably. Krager says Aerosmith's a no for him, dog.
All
right.
That's a no for me, dog.
Doc Graybeard says pre-elevator, maybe, Craig. Toys in the Attic is legit. And Big Rooster says Pink Floyd and Depeche Mode are my favorite bands. My wife loves Depeche Mode. I love Pink Floyd. My wife hates Pink Floyd.
Oh,
there are some people that hate Pink Floyd. Like they're just not. They're not into it.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Some people like music to me is just like, I don't hate on people for hating on a band, right? Like because I have weird tastes too, right? And like Stone Temple Pilots, like you would think somebody of my age and our generation would be like, oh, that's one of the best bands of our generation. I'll give them their due, but I got burned up on that, just period. Like because it got played way too much, and so I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
screw STV. I'm done with this. I don't like it.
No kidding. I don't ever like people that don't like to listen to us. I never take offense to it because I'm like, because everybody's like, what they can hear, like what they like to listen to, is so different.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so different, and I can't hate on somebody for being a unique individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea when you're in our spot is just hopefully as many people as you can get do like to listen to you. And the ones that don't, they don't hate you. You're just not their bag of or cup of tea. It's like food or anything else. It's like, do you like the garnet uniforms or the black uniforms better? That's a question that will never be answered.
So tired of color talk.
Quantrell said any genre of music made in the 90s is pretty much elite. Yeah, along with movies and everything else.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was
culture.
We're going to look back here and realize that was the peak of American civilization.
I mean, right now we're trending in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, it again.
Michael says, I don't know how anyone listens to today's hip hop. My stepson's a Drake fan, and it's like, I mean, some of that stuff. Lamont Paris was on with us 2 years ago. Said one of the most true statements I've ever heard anybody say. Hip hop peaked in the 90s, and it could never possibly get any better. And that's probably correct.
No.
Not that the new stuff isn't good, but or has good stuff every now and then. But then, man, I mean, good Lord, Death Row Records. I mean, it was.
I mean, everything like it, but yeah, across the board, everything was the best it has ever been in the 90s, and it has been all downhill from there. And I'm not just saying that because I am
a child
of that generation, right? It's just, it is what it is. Because I could easily look back and be like, well, I mean, I can take an objective viewpoint, and this period of time in American history was the best. No, it's not.
Michael Ray said mumble rap. Yeah, it's like
I saw some post by Method Man. I don't know if it is his post, but it's under his name. He was just like clowning all over these new rappers.
I mean, you have a guy as talented as Eminem, like who you can't really replicate his style.
Right.
I mean, a guy like Eminem, right? And then Mystical. You ever listen to Mystical?
Yeah.
Good God. I mean, even Lil Wayne. I mean, come on, man. And now you got this gotta go to my finger, gotta do my finger. I'm like, how do you listen to that, Cole? It's like playing an answering machine message over and over. Anyway, Quantrell like the gear of the 90s. Oh, man. Deputy Smitty, I'll end it with him because he's coming on with us tomorrow. As I mentioned in uniforms, I wish we could wear all white at home for a night game. I think it'd be amazing with the white towels. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
So like a Carolina whiteout. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate it at all.
It'd be interesting because, Williams-Brice would be wild.
I mean, people are going to complain. We got two primary colors and you want to wear West or wear white?
Here you are. We think we're Penn State.
Oh, man. All right. Tomorrow, like I said, Deputy Smitty's coming on. Who's on the morning show tomorrow? Smitty, the other Smitty, Matt Smitty.
Yeah, Matt Smitty. And
Matt Smitty.
I'm missing somebody. Oh, I think Perry makes his first.
Perry coming back.
Yeah, I think Perry's going to make his
Speaking of
first.
the nice, cue up that song, Friends of P.
That's right.
So that'll be good. Yeah, so we'll look forward to that conversation tomorrow. We appreciate everybody joining in. Coffee will return tomorrow. Don't forget our sale at thebigspur.com. It doesn't end midnight tonight like we thought. It'll end next. No, I'm sorry. You said it to the 15th?
16th.
16th.
Yeah, so through the 15th, but midnight right now on the 16th, it's over.
It's over.
So you get 4 more days, folks.
It must have been love, but it's over now. All right. See you folks later.